original, like the first art night that I attended, I showed up in full this sort of garb. And it was extremely warm, so I went down to what I typically wear during the summer, which is like next to nothing. So and of course, all the ladies made comment about it all night, much to everyone's amusement. So because when there's sexist, terrible things. Hi, how are you? So, you weren't here last session.
No.
Jen and Mark will be along shortly, but I still have to catch Lockstop.
Mm-hmm. Are we streaming right now?
Yes, we are.
Great.
Officially streaming as of probably now-ish.
Great.
I think I've done everything I needed to do. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
You're not playing Krayzik anymore.
No.
That is up to fix.
Interfixing.
Which character's name?
How was your week, Curtis?
Not
too bad. Really good trip. Oh my god, so pretty out there. So fucking cold, mind
It
you.
was raining the whole time, hey?
Raining the whole time, and no fire at probably an average temperature of about 4.
Wow.
Didn't have a fire?
Well, you can't have a fire up there because it's super slow growth, so there's no wood that you can really burn. Those trees don't grow very fast, so they don't want people burning them up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like emergency firewood sometimes, but even so, it had been raining so much, people use that up.
Right.
Because like hypothermia and shit.
Crazy.
And people going, fuck it, I'll use it anyway. But yeah, really important to stay dry when you have no external sources of heat.
Now remember, cotton kills.
Yes.
Yeah, and Josh being a dumbass and putting my bag face down in the dirt.
Oh no,
So
really?
all my clothes were soaked.
Oh, that's not good.
After 2 days on the trail, I'm like, oh shit.
You were there for 3 days, right?
4.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
11K each day.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's better to wear dirty clothes than wet clothes when you're out there. Mm.
Oh my god, 450 meters of elevation gain in about 2.5 kilometers is really freaking steep.
That sounds extremely steep. Wow. I commend you on your hiking abilities. I do not know that I would be able to do that.
It's hard, actually. It's surprisingly. When you get out there, it's like you get an appreciation for folks who do it regularly.
I will never know that appreciation because I will never do that.
Yeah?
Fuck that noise.
I like a good hike. It's just I don't get out often enough. Which is the common plight.
I can walk all day long, but I hate hiking.
You can what now?
Walk all day long. I've literally
But
been walking
hiking
for
like
like
much?
20 hours straight on some.
As soon as it starts to elevate, you're
Yeah,
like,
like,
no,
"Nope,
that's it.
this is too much. Where can I find some flat land? Fuck this.
You can just walk across Saskatchewan. That'll be it.
I bored him.
Alright. While everybody else was doing whatever the fuck else that they were doing at the time. Watch those notifications, by the way, everyone. Oh.
You be quiet.
It was actually
Okay,
me.
so catching me up.
So I'm turning notifications all off. And, when last we left our heroes, they were entering upon a strange temple underground. Having excavated the top of it, one of your members used the staff as a key to open a portal through to a staircase into the temple. That staircase led inside, while another of your members managed to crawl through the flume of what ended up being what seems to be a bathroom / bathhouse inside this underground ruin.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of whatever exploration, a lot of you delved upon and discovered the interior of this place, this strange, dank pit of brick underneath the swamp contained a chamber with strange. Wow, full on subscribe. Do we know you? I'd like to now. Anyway, so stumbling upon this pit of brick underneath the swamp,
Josh.
you discovered. Where are we here? Oh, that's true. Actually, there you go.
Mhm.
That could make sense. You discovered a chamber of secrets that contained several crystals. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Several crystals,
You would.
within which you found some to have a black inky fluid, and some to have live bait, the sort that would come from Avernus or other
Hang on, so
places of
the
devilry and
the
demons.
gems have fluid?
It's like
So,
little glass eggs.
wow.
He looks
almost.
dapper today.
While all this
I know, right?
occurs, Dr. Goodpath creeps against the side of the crevice where the excavation has been occurring and looks towards you and says, "Come with me." And so did you move with Dr. Goodpath some distance away from the excavation.
Sure.
He leads you away some distance in towards the brush, where during this travel he mutters to himself accordingly.
Where are we going?
And he looks towards you when you ask this and says, "Shh, hush and follow." It is only a moment later, after you've been breaking through the leaves and branches of the forest the swampland surrounding, that you come to another bit of a clearing. And he's holding a parchment in his hands, a small chunk of it. And you can see the drawing of it resembles the area that you were just at. And he looks towards you and says, "Please hold still." And he comes towards you, encroaching to a very uncomfortable distance. And he says, "This will only work the once, if it works at all."
Okay.
With that, he mutters a few words, and you hear a crunch as he crushes something in his hand. And as it billows out, turning to dust that clouds away in a slight breeze, you are suddenly snapped away from your current position. Amidst the swampland, the moisture, and the thick din of nature, you find yourself a moment later in the inky darkness of a strange place.
I quickly draw my blades.
As your blade suddenly... Oh, I didn't have my soundboard out. As your blade suddenly produces in the dim light of distant torches, it glints sharply. As
And the sun
Goodpath...
rises.
And as you illuminate the area, Goodpath suddenly looks towards you and gives a slight hiss with his tusk out. "Turn that off."
Sunsets.
As you are pitched back into darkness, you hear in the distance a strange trumping of sorts. It sounds like a rhythmic war drum. And he looks towards you and says, "Do you hear that?
Yes.
We are within the belly of this beast. I know not if your compatriots will manage and weigh in themselves. However, my intention is to find a door to allow them entry. You are to help me with this."
Okay. Do you know where this door is? It's awfully dark in here.
"I have no earthly idea," he says to you. The camera pans against your eyes in the light,
Whose
or
fort is this?
in the pinpoint lights of the distant torches in the darkness. And sorry, what did you say?
So are we outside or?
You're inside, in a 10-foot wide by what looks to be about a 40-foot hallway that expands quickly into a, we'll say, 40-foot wide. You know
Is
what?
it
It's a 20-foot hallway.
conventionally constructed? Is it?
Oh, it's
in
very,
good
it's very
shape?
solid
Is it in
brick.
bad shape?
So actually, you know what? Let's just give you a layout. Should I put the cover down and then just
Aw.
draw it? Can we go
put it
classic dungeon style? Oh my gosh. Let's do it. Let's put the cover on.
I'm just gonna sneak by and go.
Oh, never mind. If I leave the cover off, I can light things on fire.
Hey,
Aha.
even better.
Fine.
I like fire.
Does the cover not have like a thick enough coating that it would be fine? It's pretty low
Technically, and
intensity
the thing is, I
fire.
can always throw tile down too.
Yeah, you can always put it whatever under a little tile.
As I was saying, a 40-foot-ish hallway that suddenly expands into a 40-foot wide room. You can also see that it leads off to the one side. Pinpoint torches allow a little bit of firelight that flickers in the distance.
Is he coming to the big hall?
Where the hell are my candelabra?
Yeah, you got to go in first.
Yeah, but he's not there.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, no,
If
no.
he's at the part that. No.
Yes.
I don't think he is.
Sort of. Yes. Aha! I have two. So.
Noise.
Where is... There you are.
Perfectly in time with music.
Yeah. He found the piece! Woo. I don't know if I trust the chair.
Goes.
Nice warm
So
blue
that for
lighter.
a moment. While I put it No. Just got a ton of
Whoa.
music on the
You okay?
Is the
Are you
chair
on that
going on?
tilt-
So Matt
chair?
decided not to stick to it. Not his thing.
He had one day of fun, and that was good enough for him.
Okay.
Not his jam.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
He prefers his computer games.
Yes.
That's it for you.
That's okay.
Different starts for different folks.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got quite the system display and an entire room dedicated to it. It's
Oh,
quite
yeah.
funny.
It's intense. Very intense. There
This
we
is
are.
helpful.
As you blindly.
Honey, for Christmas I want a really big D20.
So do I.
Okay, so there's that, and then also...
I just have a really big D6. My no.
I'm sorry,
I don't know why that sounded dirty. I got a really big
D6,
D6.
It's really big.
It's huge.
Right. So as I was saying,
Hell, you guys were at art night.
perfect.
That thing's awesome. A big metal one?
Yeah.
Weighs a fucking ton.
From where you're situated, you hear a rhythmic tromping
Which
So big.
direction?
in the distance. That way.
Okay.
The hallway directly behind you, as you look behind, is pitched into darkness, but as your eyes adjust, you see the little bit of a corner leading off to the left from where you stand.
Okay. How did you get us here?
He looks towards you and says, I had an ancient recall stone. A single-use artifact, rumored to bring us here. I apologize for risking us in such the fashion, but I had to know.
How far away are we?
Allegedly, we are nearby the controls for the lockings of this place.
I mean from where we left.
Ah, nearby it. Perhaps. And he looks upwards. 200 feet above us. 300 or so. It's alright, I got a noise gate up now, so if you're not clear, you might be actually unheard completely.
Haha. Alright.
Remember that. The coffee you can totally hear, but if somebody talks, there's a good chance you won't.
I'm sorry.
So what you're telling me is be... Well, actually, no, I'm already loud, so that's good. You have a halo above your head in the video.
The light.
It's beautiful.
Ha.
More of a tense and creepy here, and it does all sorts of things.
I quickly step back and look around the corner behind me.
Okay. As you do so, you're confronted with a single door, metal in a metal wood frame.
That's a no.
Why What is that thing?
The drumming stops for a moment.
Alright,
Oh, actually, I suppose
I
it's
walk
really
up to
does.
that door and examine it more closely.
You do so. Goodpath looks towards you. Where are you going? He asks in the darkness. His silhouette against the pinpoint lights behind him flickers for a moment before you see something move off in the distance.
Ideally securing our exit.
He just shakes his head. You have no earthly clue either what we are doing here. Do not. What's the word I'm looking for? Do not put on airs. It's such a dangerous place. And he looks behind himself, through to the chamber, and you hear him unbuckle the axe from his belt. A moment later, it drops, the weight of it swinging through the air, even through that short distance, resonating as he grips it tightly and begins making his way in the other direction.
Alright. I quietly follow him.
The door ahead of you shimmers slightly in the faint light as your reflection disappears from its facade. You follow in behind Goodpath. As he steps into the chamber and looks around, the whole of the chamber suddenly begins to illuminate, ever so slightly and slowly, as the candelabras continue to do what they do. The ground ahead of Goodpath opens up suddenly, a single circular space sliding to the side, and a brazier lifting out of the ground. It ignites, illuminating the chamber, and all around you, you can see a set of wall-mounted levers and crystals. The crystals have lines drawn between them. The levers are situated nearby the crystals and lines. Goodpath looks them over for a moment as you sight upon them yourself. Goodpath gives a nod and says, I have no idea what
I'm
this
glad
is.
I turned off my light. Subtle.
He enters around the room, walking around the brazier, peering down the hallway here.
I walk into the room. I look around the hallway on the right.
You make your way past the brazier and peer off to the right. Down the hall, you see a set of stairs leading upwards.
Okay. Does it just dead end apart from that?
No, but the light fizzles out. Not to mention, as it reaches the top of the floor, you don't quite see what's beyond.
Okay, but there's nothing beside the stairs. Is what I mean.
Oh, sorry. I'll put some bric-a-brac there. Am I supposed to see this? Oh, okay. Of course, it's up on the camera, so. Funny enough, I didn't look. So there you go.
There you go. Perfect.
Anyway,
Alright, I look back at the braziers.
you can just go to the fridge and grab something.
I was just wondering if there was stuff in the fridge.
Yeah,
You
there's
don't have
shit
to
tons
give
of
me yours.
I
juice.
don't want the rest of it.
Tons of juice, there's Pepsi.
Okay. I still want one.
The rest is your Pepsi.
I'll get you.
Anyway. As you peer up towards the stairs, the light fading away at the edge of the top of them, you can see that the space opens up.
Okay.
And you hear shuffling. You hear the clankings of metal.
Okay. I step back. What's the light sources of the room I'm in?
These.
Oh,
Two candelabras.
okay.
Oh, and I did say that those are bric-a-brac.
So are they conventionally lit? As in a flame?
Yes. But as you come towards the brazier, you can hear a... He slow hisses something.
Ah.
Very- way too much.
Ooh.
Thank you, Stacy. This stuff's for nails, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Super
That's smart.
Interesting.
Yeah. You only get it with a nails X license. So.
What?
Yeah, so she was good enough to take me down there.
Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah,
A nail text license.
I know, right?
Very important.
Like random metal bits? I'm assuming it's going to explode or something? For some reason it'd be a controlled thing.
Are we gonna see it go on fire? Oh, it's gems, I guess. That's cool.
Okay. Alright.
Hey?
Okay.
What do you see?
Our light betrays our presence.
You want him?
I'm going to go to the. Okay, how are the braziers heavy attached to the ground?
Yes, very much affixed to the ground.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to use prestidigitation on the one behind me there to shut it out.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You can extinguish it easily enough.
We don't need the extra light going down that hallway.
He looks towards the other candelabra sitting there next to the hallway.
And what of that one?
He walks over towards it and gives it a quick clap on each of the candles, extinguishing them.
Yep. Well, I figured that one was more locked, but okay. Alright. Okay. Eyes adjusting. I'm just double checking if I have anything still.
He looks back towards the levers and crystals and the lines between them again and shakes his head.
I have no idea.
And then walks away again towards the corner. He looks back towards you.
We should press on, I should think.
I take out my,
What's up?
Where's Mom?
I don't know. Probably upstairs, the washroom.
Oh,
I take out my hooded lantern and light it.
yeah.
You take out your lantern. You ignite it.
Yep.
It illuminates the area.
Alright, I'm gonna have a closer look at the central, pyre, I guess.
As I said before, you can hear it slowly going.
Oh, that one as well?
The central one wasn't the one I was talking about before. The candelabras are just normal candelabras.
Oh, they're not giving off any hits.
No.
Okay.
The center unit that's affixed to the ground is giving off this.
Okay.
What's the mandate in
I
my
see.
head? Are you wasting mandates? Don't waste mandates. So, yeah, go on.
Classic.
Bandy got a mouth too.
What?
We should get.
What happened?
Yeah,
You
You
okay?
can keep that out.
okay, that's the poop later.
Okay. We should find a brown one.
Okay,
Okay, I'm trying to find the source of that hiss.
you look towards the bottom of the brazier with your passive perception, and you find that there's a hose leading up into it, and you listen closely, and you can hear the hiss coming from that. Goodpath looks towards you and says, "What's the special of it?"
Some kind
Nothing.
of gas.
Feeding the fire, no doubt.
Feeding the fire, no doubt. And then he come is like hefting his axe to just see if we can open something.
Alright. Insist.
He surprisingly expertly sneaks forward to about the top of the stairs.
Okay.
He disappears against the darkness. His
I'm
hulking
gonna have a
form
look at that chest.
managing to dissipate into the shadow. Lux creeps forward towards the chest, coming to close in upon its large stature.
Yeah. Alright, is it locked?
It seems to have a locking mechanism built into it.
Okay. Tell
Okay.
you it's subject.
I look for any hidden compartments on the sides or anything.
There doesn't seem to be anything of that sort now.
Okay.
It does have an emblem on the front of it that shows a dragon in a circular pattern around a fist.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to use my thieves' tools to open the lock.
Throw it.
What kind of roll is that exactly? Oh, nat 20.
The lock almost opens out of obligation. As you give it a deft twist, it easily comes undone against your tools.
Simple enough.
You say to yourself under your breath, in the darkness,
Yep.
next to Goodpath, who looks over towards you down the side of the stairs. As he creeps over and leans above you, you can feel his presence looming as you, I'm assuming, open the chest.
Yes.
And as you're about to crack it open, he says, "Have you checked it for any sort of security measures?"
I couldn't find anything on the sides.
He gives a nod, and then he leans back, and you hear him take take against the stairs. As you pull open the chest lid,
Yep.
and it leans upwards easily enough on relatively well-kept hinges, you see inside there's a littering of different materials, and they sit next to a stack of various robes.
Okay.
Robes.
Fashionable, to say the least.
Okay.
Ooh.
Have a look through the contents.
You rummage in the chest for a moment. Amidst the cloths, you see that they're all of three different robes. Sorry, 3 robes, each of them the same, not different.
Oh.
Red robes that they are, you can tell their deep hue with a little bit of light that is emanating in this area. Oh, you have your hooded lantern out, so...
Yeah.
Okay, you shine that in there?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. That was not the shining light sound. But, shining your light down into the chest, you find that there's a bunch of various parchments stacked to the one side, nice and orderly, and you find a bunch of chunks of crystal sitting in the corner.
Interesting.
You also find, actually,
Broken crystals.
one of these.
Fallen.
As you pick it up, you immediately see that it's not a ruby.
Not a ruby.
Not a ruby. But it is a strange, thick, red, crystalline substance, owned to a perfectly spheroid shape.
Adding one not a ruby to my inventory.
One thick, not a ruby.
That's right. That's THICC. Yes, indeed.
Okay, not a ruby, crystals, and I'm gonna grab and look at those robes more closely. Do they have any emblems?
Lifting up the robes, you see that each of them does indeed have an emblem that is identical to the one on the chest, a circular dragon with a fist in the center.
Okay, I'm grabbing
The
one
fisting dragon, that's right. That's exactly what it was, the fisting dragon.
I like it.
Thank you, Mark. My new heavy metal band is going to be called Fisting Dragon.
Okay, I'll have a quick look at the papers, and I'm grabbing one that I'm pocketing that robe.
Okay,
as well.
you take a quick flip through the parchments. You can see that they've got all sorts of dots and lines on them. I wish I'd drawn this out, but actually I went to the dollar store, and the dollar store was closed for the power outage, so I couldn't get the materials for the puzzle as I had intended. I know. It's unfortunate. It's terrible stuff. That is not the music for this. As we were. Looking through the parchments, you can see that they've got all sorts of illustrations on them. They are written in a combination of Elvish and Common. And you can see that they have listed on them things such as... okay, so let's see. What's the word I'm looking for? Shit. Portal disruption.
Interesting.
Okay. So several of the pages are labeled this. As you see in the top right corner, it'll have this written, and then on the opposite left side, it has written down the spine in Elvish script. Do you read Elvish?
One moment.
Indexing, searching.
It's one thing, like, sometimes these little things like this, when there's multiple things, this digital system is not great for. I do read Elvish, yes.
Perfect. As you see down the side, it is also written portal dispersion.
Okay.
Prevention, dispersion. Prevention.
Promo.
Portal lock. We'll just call it portal lock.
Portal lock.
Portal lock. As you're looking over the various bits, you hear shuffling upstairs, and Goodpath shuffles with the noise to have a peer over the edge. And as he does, he gives a slight gasp and looks back towards you. He says, "Do not shine your light upwards."
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, I'm still... I put out the lantern for now and head after him.
the echoing din of the area begins to thicken, and Goodpath, suddenly you can see him putting two fingers out, and then a third one joins quickly, and he shakes it. And then he accompanies his hand to say, "There are 3 of them."
I take out,
What?
I quietly sheath my swords and I take out, a couple daggers.
You do so.
Okay, I peek my head and try and see them.
Roll stealth to get up the stairs.
Stealth.
Uh-oh. Yeah, 7, stealth. 14.
Okay, good. You creep up the stairs, Goodpath eyeing you like this as you're making your way up the steps. And as your head horizons against the side of the floor, you sight upon what looks as a large barracks area. And as such, you see several cots all lining the floors. I don't actually have a price for this, but let's see what I got. Folks, we have to use your imagination.
Like little gears and shit. That's not acceptable.
I know, right?
I like
I have my limitations. I wasn't designed for this. The person who is just like has a 3D printer built into their ass, they just fart out new things. Hang on a sec, this one's a biggie.
Oh, it's a dragon.
Shit. You know something?
Oh, he's got 2 heads.
If I do that.
Ooh, damn it.
Thinking.
Nerd.
So, how am I fucking doing this? I need to portray a bunch of cots. You know what? The place is lousy with cots. How's that sound?
Okay.
That sound pretty good? Alright. The place is lousy with cots. So you have to fill that into your measure. I'm just imagining grabbing some toilet paper and turning
So I
it
don't
into
see anyone.
strips of stuff. That would work, right?
Oh yeah.
That said, peering into the
where
chamber,
are they?
he points forth, and you can slightly see the silhouette of guardsmen milling about. And as you're looking, you see skeletal forms in the darkness, as well as armored forms.
I really enjoy it. Can put on like that minus the apron.
Not the apron.
I forgot I had all the minis too.
That's fair.
Nice.
Yas. Oh, yes. Yes, bitch. Yes. This is some shit. Okay. We'll move him out of there for now. Yes. Yes.
Someone's having a yasgasm.
I am. Hey, Gasm.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, where are you, you mother? And There's one
Is
special
that door
unit.
actually open over there?
Please don't blind me, I'm sorry. Whatever I did.
Get out of here, motherfucker. Come here, man.
Hey, Julie, is that door actually open?
Maybe. You, focusing with your immense passive perception of 15,
16.
16, peering forth, you see a little bit of a dim light glowing from the doorway, just yonder. You see the movement silhouetted by the light of a large, hulking, skeletal form that, moving forth, has a bit of armor dangling from its bony structure as it comes towards where you stand.
Okay. I'll need to take them quietly and quickly. Sorry.
Close down there.
I gotta remember that voice thing. Whispering, we will need to take them quickly and quietly.
He looks towards you and just gives a simple nod.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, just actually quick.
Oh,
I'm here for it.
Okay, I'm going to use my invisible mage hand to attempt to close that door, assuming it's not too heavy.
That's fine. You give it a shove, the door closes well enough on well-oiled hinges.
Okay.
It shuts, and
To be clear, that, mage hand would, given my, whatever stealth mage hand ability thing that I have,
Range ledger domain.
thank you. Lecherman, yeah.
you hear the movements and a bit of laughter as the one hulking form suddenly grabs a hold of the door and pulls it fully open. Peering through it, you watch as another one comes to join him on the other side and walks through. Passing him, as this one continues to stare through, this one walks in and looks around the chamber. A moment later, it leaves, walking up through the same entryway. Goodpath looks towards you and says, "They look fiendish. Where are those robes?" He looks towards you.
Yeah.
You hold them up? You, took them?
Yeah, well, I took one of them.
Okay. He looks at it, and he puts it on.
I think I understand. I quietly go down the stairs and grab another,
You do so.
donning it.
You throw it up over yourself, sleeving yourself in its red velour drapery.
Yeah, putting my hood, my fur hood, I'm going to stuff into my bag
Okay.
to, make the robes not look
Sure.
horribly weird hanging over my.
With that, I'm assuming you follow Goodpath's lead.
Yes.
He heads up the stairs, slowly, walking in amidst the chamber's trappings. As he does, he suddenly watches to the one side of him as another of the hulking forms trumps up and across, muttering as it does. Finding the noise, or source of rather, it looks Goodpath up and down as Goodpath gets ready for battle, taking a moment with his axe at the ready, but the creature does not attack.
Okay, I follow up after him.
Goodpath looks towards the door and says, "This is probably the way to go." As you're about to head that way, though, you watch as the door is suddenly occupied by another silhouette rushing out it. As one of the forms from this chamber suddenly follows another and another, as they all are suddenly mustering, it seems, following out this doorway, heading towards something. You're not sure what. Goodpath looks towards you and says, "Good fortune. They are being drawn away."
Perhaps, perhaps not. Let's look about this room a little.
He looks around and
Is it lit?
not especially. So, are you gonna?
Okay. Anything obvious other than cots and?
Nothing in the dark. It is dark in here. There seems to be hanging braziers overhead, dispersed every 20 feet.
Okay, what range can I start one using prestidigitation? 10 feet. Except they're quite high, though.
Yeah, the ceiling here is about 50 feet. They're hanging at 20 feet from the ceiling. So they're 30 feet above you.
Alright, so too far for me to ignite easily. Okay, I find my way towards this side, taking out my lantern and looking... Closing the door. Oh, doesn't actually close.
Peering through the doorway, you watch as
No,
they-
not peering through the doorway, just quietly closing it and then
Oh, okay,
looking,
fair
and
enough.
then bullseyeing and looking around the room.
Peering around the chamber, you see there's bric-a-brac lining each of the 3 tables in the center of the chamber. Armors, weapons of all manner of shapes and sizes.
Anything look apparently quality?
It all looks decent. Nothing that jumps out
Nothing
is
stands
extra
out.
special, but
Okay.
it all looks well kept
What
and
kind
well
of
sharpened.
armors and weapons?
Studded leathers, mostly. There's a single suit of chainmail that you can see, obviously, amidst everything.
Okay.
And on a mannequin off in the corner, you notice. A rack of gear and a pedestal with a suit of armor upon it, a half plate, or sorry, a single breastplate upon it.
Interesting. Any symbol on that plate? I walk closer to it.
The symbol upon it is much as the chest and the robes, a circular dragon with a fist through it.
Okay. Alright. Where to now?
Goodpath looks towards you, then looks towards the door. I would assume.
Very well. Very well.
I assume you make your way through.
Yeah. Following him.
Like, no. Well, yeah. You know what? Let's do that.
Do it!
Yeah.
Can do it. Cut his fucking head off.
I can pull off what I'm kind of envisioning it.
Very good, very good.
What is this? No. You know what? I want to use this.
Shrink.
Sort of thing. Too low, actually. Not these, but.
Oh god, everything's going.
And then. Can I get away with it?
Okay, yeah.
Sort of.
Don't look shit.
Oh. How's it going there?
Yeah. So it's a large open space with some pillars.
It is.
Okay.
At the end of which
Oh.
can I get away with this? Can I do this?
Fuck your door.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Are you trying to embed it in those? I guess that could work.
Does that sound like it?
Shock
Yeah.
sound.
Doesn't like bug me. It just kind of.
It fucking kills
shivers.
Celeste. Fucking she hates that sound so much.
That's fun. Okay, so there's a walkway down that way.
Oh man. Alright. It's done!
Screen.
No, screen's fine.
Oh.
This sound is playing.
Indeed. Alright.
Okay.
Lux pulls open the door to reveal a somewhat lit chamber beyond that has a strange phosphorescent glow of purple coming down from the ceiling overhead.
What's the light source?
From what you can tell, fungus.
Okay.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh, fungus among us.
Humongous, fungus.
Oh boy. Humongous fungus among us.
Yes.
That's a nice purple. Okay. Yeah, we look blue. Oh no, time.
Abba dabba.
Okay. What's Good Path doing?
Peering at you, and then looking through the chamber and listening. Do you hear that? And sure as shit, you absolutely do hear, very faintly in the distance, the resonation of battle.
Odd. I look about on the pathway on the right there, stepping through the door.
As you step through the doorway and are bathed in the light, your eyes take a moment to adjust, and you feel that the air here is a lot thicker, moist.
I assume he's relatively close, if not next to me at this point.
That's nasty.
Very moist.
We're definitely deep underground.
There are a set of stairs leading upwards. And a door yonder.
I have a close look at the small door.
As you move in towards the door, you notice a bunch of webs to the one side, and some small bones nestled
So
in
it
the
looks
webs.
to have been closed a long time.
The door itself doesn't look like it's been touched in a while now. As you come towards its wooden form in the stone frame of the cave wall, you don't notice anything having happened
obvious
anytime
lock?
soon. There is a locking mechanism. There is a hole in the door underneath a lever.
Okay. Okay, I pry the lever with my crowbar.
Alright. As you pull out your crowbar and make use of it, throw me strength.
On the lever, mind you. Nat 15, so gonna be strength. 15.
As you reef backwards on the door, Good Path looking towards you with a bemused expression.
Again, the lever.
Okay?
It was just so I wasn't physically putting my hand by the lever in case it was trapped.
Oh, you're pulling the lever open with? I thought you were ripping
Yeah,
the door open.
no,
with
I'm just
the...
using it as a
Oh! You don't have to make a strength. Never mind. You reach out.
That's why it seemed excessive. It's like, how hard is this lever?
Well, it is sticky. It has been used.
Yeah, okay.
Why
The
is
door
it
is
sticky?
locked. It's got a really fancy lock.
Ooh,
The
I like
lever
a good
doesn't
fancy
do
lock.
anything, or
It just
jams?
jiggles a little
Okay.
bit. It's locked.
Just a little jiggle.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
Good
use my
Path gives a
tools.
chuckle.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
sir.
gonna try to pick the lock.
Alright. You set to work.
Net 19, so that's gonna be
You lean in and-
sleight of hand, right?
Give it a few
Oh,
quick
so
twists.
it's-
It's a tool proficiency. So it's proficiency plus dex, I think, is the tool itself. With that said, though,
Okay.
as you
Tools should be.
unlatch the door.
Tools. Dice these tools, yeah.
No, sorry, no. that's-
Okay, so that's my proficiency.
There.
It doesn't
And then you
actually
add
show me
dex
the
to it.
number. Just dex.
Yeah, so give someone your attack.
The door swings open, and the camera
Oh,
lights.
So it should be
Proficiency
should be
bonus.
plus.
Panning across Julia's face
okay.
as you
Percent.
stand amidst your compatriots in a chamber surrounded by two corpses of skeletal form, dragon skeletal form, as you remember. The both of them drab in old armor. Their rusted weapons fallen to the wayside. You look over towards the rest of your compatriots, Baracus and what's your kid's name again? Nar.
Nard. It's
Nar.
It's like Snarf.
Snarf, snarf.
And then over towards Leandra. Oh.
Glorious.
And you know what? Actually, we're gonna do that, that, and now that.
Yeah. So yeah, some skeletal forms in that room.
Sorry, I just gotta pull out the picture. Should have
What do you do?
Okay.
the last session there.
Seriously?
Oh, as that happens, we'll just do this.
That actually looks better.
Okay.
I'm in the bare necessity.
We have arrived.
I played it well for the funeral, but not well for the fight.
Someone died?
Yes, half a city did, or like more than half a
shit.
city.
You remember this off the last time.
I do.
People.
Are we back there now?
Haven't you guys always been there?
Are we in the
We were in the bucket room.
the other room with the crystal globy shits and the thing in the middle?
And we were
Yeah,
set
but he
on
wasn't here
fire.
last week.
Yeah, he was.
So he's catching up.
Ah, that's
I don't know if you're setting that up for us.
Where's the fucking photo?
We gotta meet up.
We took a picture.
Then we're in that little round room with
Was
Not
picture in a
I.
glass panel scene.
It wasn't I.
There's stairs on one end.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, right.
And the stairwell.
You had the box on for it?
And
Right there.
That's how it was.
Oh, actually, even better. I was gonna put this one down, but you know what? Yeah. Perfect. Was it just that
shit.
small? No, it was the big one. But you know what? The room was that small. You're right.
Yeah,
yeah.
because you just drew a tiny circle.
That's right.
Not that size of it. Is that Arcanus?
There you go.
Is that so? Are you sure?
That's how I
Because
was.
if I recall,
That's how it works.
I don't think there's any other doors into here.
You guys are in this room because you guys came looking for where the soldiers were. Coming from where you saw the open doorway.
I thought we stopped at grabbing that demon dagger.
Yeah.
You grabbed the demon dagger, but then
Then it
Oh,
went
good.
cutscene.
That's where we went.
We were still in
Usually
that.
that's my
Yeah,
problem.
we were still in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's just what we
Come
are.
on.
I applaud your
Come
enthusiasm.
on.
We hadn't even picked up the dagger yet.
Yeah, it was like
Spirit.
fade to black.
Yeah,
Totally. You're
Yeah,
expecting to remember
everyone was
this,
too scared to
right?
touch it.
Great, thank you.
because this is fucking D&D.
Yes, and daggers never get stuck to your hand.
Nope.
Who wrote down the numbers of demon souls and whatnot that were in here?
You said they were all in demon souls.
Those some were crusty buckets.
That's right.
They're the black
There were
smears.
7?
There was several.
Several.
I think it was 12 if I remember correctly, and 3 of them were black inky miasmas.
And one of those black inky miasmas is
Poofed into the dagger.
dagger.
That's right.
Okay.
And now it's good you brought up because we need someone to grab the dagger.
No
No.
one gets screwed by the dagger. Got it.
The dagger grabber. Official title.
I'll grab her dagger.
Hey.
Oh! Oh!
What are you doing? Antique just said, honey.
Hey. Nothing
Crash,
happened.
bang, destroy.
I'm super paranoid every time I touch these things. For years, never even played them.
No?
Want to see it go in anger?
Oh no. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad, eh?
Yeah.
Alright. So what happens when you revisit games, you know, they get high def.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
It's now 1920, 1080.
Ah, yes.
Right, so you guys were in the chamber. Under chamber. Some of the deadites. Oh, look at this guy.
There we go.
Fucking Bruiser Reno here.
What are you again?
Big guy. Big muscle
Wait,
burger.
is there a staircase leading into it? No, the staircase led to the balcony. This was.
Huh?
Where was this?
No, that was my other guy that
It was closed in.
Oh.
Chancellor Souls for.
It was closed in, but there was a doorway leading to
Oh,
it.
same character.
From here.
Things.
No, I realized, but where was it coming from?
Things came up with that one.
It was
Stairs.
leading there from.
Things came up with the other one
from
that
the
I did not
stairs
know.
to the balcony.
I don't know. That's what I remember.
Shoot.
So you got
Copyright
killed
infringement?
off or
No,
just
no, he's an NPC now.
Because you guys went. No, that's right. You guys went through one of the side doors underneath. Right. So you guys went through underneath. This is underneath here.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
big.
That's right. Now I recall. Okay. So this right here is situated underneath here. You guys got here by going through one of the doors that's under here. These doors.
Underwater.
Let me.
Stupid jokes.
There we go. Now the stairs are upside down, so we can remember.
Upside down stairs.
What's up? What's up? Alright.
What's that?
Spot?
So there's a little shut spot. Oh, I see what you're after.
Yeah.
So this goes up to a balcony. This goes up to a balcony. This
That's
is
not
supposed to be
understand.
underneath here.
Yeah.
So this is under there. These guys are dead in here. We can actually situate this over there. Pardon me, everybody, a moment while we finish constructing this experience.
Disneyland is still under construction, ladies and gentlemen. Just settle the fuck down. It's okay.
Right, so this right here goes like that. It's a hallway leading into that chamber. And then there was the 2 doors here. You guys went through one of them. There's a set of stairs that comes down and leads up to here. And that's what it is.
Okay.
That, perfect. Alright. Okay.
Heyo.
Look at that. It's like it's meant to be. Yeah. To complete the ensemble. Sets of stairs leading into the area.
From
right
these?
under. Yeah. So these marry up to here, leading downwards to here.
Okay.
Which is actually wrong. Wrong. That is wrong.
Oh.
Because it should be like that. So you go through. Because it should be the other way. Because this goes under here.
Mm-hmm.
So you go through here and you come
Strike
down.
that, reverse it.
Yeah, literally. Is you go through here and you come down the stairs and you're going underneath here. Did everybody get that? You at home? Right on.
Oh.
You've got high hopes. You've got high hopes. You've got high in the sky. Oh.
Okay.
Are you gonna flip the whole thing?
No, just
Is
that.
that what it is?
Close enough.
It's good enough. It's supposed to go under here.
Yeah.
Right? So that all said,
This
though,
works
it's
better
perfect.
for the camera.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
Okay. So I'd open that side door there.
Sorry, which door? Right, we're not talking about you though. We just finished loading this all up to get these guys going.
Loading, loading.
Because we devoted
loading.
an hour to you, and that was 15 minutes of construction right there.
Hey-yo.
Where are we here? So there's Baracus, and where is Miss O'Shea? Are you already on the field? No, you are not.
Hey.
There's
Ruining your heart.
incoming! Alright, there you are.
Excuse me.
Gladly.
That's the weird.
Hey, can we add you to Facebook?
Hey.
You what?
Do you have a Facebook?
Yes, I do have
You
a
need to be on
Facebook.
Monday group.
Okay. You have a Facebook chat group
Yeah.
thingy?
Yes.
You can add me to it.
Yes.
Okay, but I need to add like
My name is Steven. It's James. Name.
James' name.
James.
Oh,
name.
that's
Give me one
awesome.
sec. Our Hansels is.
He's a Rapunzel.
Are you the invitee of it? Inviter? Who did invite him? Someone invite him?
Wait, what?
Never friggin' mind.
I don't know.
I just wanted
What
to
about?
add him as a friend on Facebook.
Oh, that's all you
just
want?
wanna be
Okay.
your friend.
Someone.
Oh, that's all you want? Wow.
Fun.
Dude, I'm right here.
I said friend.
Yes.
You've been added. Requested to add.
Ooh.
I got a double
Somebody
date.
likes you.
Oh wow, that's a name.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ambrochowiz? Wait.
James Abercrombie-Fitch.
Or Abramovich.
Abercrombie-Fitch.
No.
Amber.
You know, you say you're
Mr. Crombie-Finch.
Oh, okay.
It's like tomato.
I think I'll just call you James.
That's an easier one to do, yes.
Yeah. If you were a teacher, you'd be Mr. A.
Yeah.
Mr. A.
Yes. Back to be honest.
And with that said, you stand in the chamber, about finished with a process that took all but a moment. As the dish sizzles and sears, where sits a dagger glowing with a strange light. It is white and pulsating, flickering, almost dancing across the surface of the blade, as if it's too much power for the blade to hold. You can hear shufflings. You can hear shufflings. And
Error.
it's like my keys is stuck.
Shuffling.
It's not stuck anymore. Literally, it was the eye that worked. Alright, as I was saying. You hear shufflings,
Squeeze.
moanings, and more to the point,
Is it right there? Or is it close?
echoing from down the hall.
I don't know if you're capable of healing.
A little.
Like, if you're.
I can help. Would
Oh,
you
good,
like
good.
some meal?
What is this?
That's what?
That sound.
I'm thinking it's more of those fucking things.
They're coming back for us?
Yes,
Probably,
I think so.
yes.
I agree with
Do you think
him.
if we dress up as the skeletons, they won't notice that we're...
I want to see you dress up as skeleton.
I take one of the skeleton bodies and like hold it up like a puppet in front of me.
Much to your dismay, with the magic gone, the pieces in the center of this, without any ligaments, fall apart
Oh.
immediately. The hull of the skeleton is not but a pile of bones at this point.
Let's try.
I tried.
The bits of armor that dangle off of the femur and the
Yeah.
hip bones
Stand
that
back
then,
and
the
shoot.
pelvis, that then falls to the floor in front of you. All of it just falling apart into a big heap of chain.
Sorry to.
Sets you to realize there's no hope for that.
Can I take the pelvis bone and use it as a shield?
It's a fairly robust pelvis, you must say, quite the specimen, but not much of a shield. What with having a hole in the center, and
That's fair.
you think about using it as a discus for a moment. You don't know where that thought came from, but you
Yeah.
quickly push it away.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Peering around the chamber, the rest of your compatriots, O'Shea. Anything? You look like you got something to declare.
Yeah, you would like a heal, right?
If you do not mind.
Okay, cool. A clicky, a ready,
I do not want to
a
be
casty.
closed. Huh?
Okay, healing word 2d4 plus 4. And I'm supposed to roll that, right?
You roll
Yeah.
this, Joe
Okay.
spell.
Well, she's.
Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. That's 2 4s.
Oh,
And then
nice.
plus 4.
Nice.
Yes,
Excellent. I love that.
Awesome.
Setting the pace, setting the pace.
You're
Thank
making
you
up
very
for
much.
last time.
Oh.
Thank you.
That's way too much.
Quick question: do any of the angelic forms that are around us look like the one that I might have sort of seen at some point?
Funny you should ask.
Oh god.
What?
There's a specific one there then.
There's one there that looks similar to what you would expect,
Okay.
so far as your understanding
Thank you very much.
of holy soldiers goes, so to speak.
There's a holy soldier in the
Can
barrel?
Can I use Mage Hand to remove the dagger from the tray
Yes,
and then replace it with the staff?
you do so. The staff falls over on the tray. Tozuth can be heard rumbling somewhere in the back of your mind.
If at all possible, anyone mind giving me a hand so I can line it up with the specific,
Yeah,
You
I'd
remember
love
there
to.
are several dishes,
yeah.
and one of the platforms has a hole in the center that would be a holster for a staff. One has a tray, that's the
Okay.
one with the dagger in it.
I understand now. So, hey, big guy,
Yes.
can I get you to
Move something, yes.
switch up the
I can do
things?
that.
Thank you. And I'd like to arrange the tiles again on
Okay.
the outside of the.
This is going to take you a moment, and as this is occurring, you can hear the rapidly approaching footsteps
Not enough
echoing
time for this.
along the hallway.
Perhaps I should get ready.
Just yeah. Okay. As soon as I get here,
Sounds good?
I'll be with you.
Is your new character Russian?
Of course not.
He's from Deep South Coast, Sword Coast.
Deep south.
Slovenia.
So as the camera pans against each of you, it focuses in upon the epically flowing mane of one in epically flowing clothes who suddenly... No, that's the wrong one. Jesus,
Oh,
this
you're on
thing.
fire.
I gotta fix my soundboard, I'll tell you this right now. I gotta fix my keyboard as it is. Yeah, there we are.
I'm gonna bring you a keyboard. I got like
Yeah.
a file.
Thank you.
Much better. How about that Foley, eh? Alright. As the camera pans backwards through the hall, it shows the silhouettes of several forms, skeletal soldiers, rushing down towards you. Tromping into view, a single file along the hall, closing the distance upon you where you stand.
Good.
And as the camera pans against the scene of the doorway, it shows you standing in the doorway as you open it up. As you peer inside the chamber beyond, you can hear the rushing of air pass you by as you peer over the edge of a large room that has sunken down into the ground some distance.
Oh.
You can see broken stairs and a pile of rubble next to the doorway. And the ceiling here sits where it originally was.
Spider.
Okay.
Spider?
Spider.
Is there one in there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fight him.
Watch the giant spider crawls its way lazily across the chamber and makes its way out through a crevice in the ceiling. The ceiling here is hewn stone, where it is broken through mason tile.
Okay.
Moss has overgrown through the corner.
Okay. So anything else I can see in the room?
You can see a ruined doorway across the chamber, but the portal beyond seems to have caved in long ago.
Okay.
Boxes sit to the one side, sealed crates still sealed. You also see a small metal can of sorts to the one side. And a littering of weapons and armor, or weapons in a bric-a-brac in the center of the chamber.
That's a nice tree.
Not well kept. Take it.
The place, as you look around it,
Is
moving through it, is still dripping bits of ceiling.
Alright.
And lastly, oh! It finally happened. Alright.
No need to scream.
That was supposed to be a DM screen?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Really? It like never
Stopper.
stopped me seeing anything.
Believe it or not, it actually was pretty effective as a shot. Look at all the sand that was under there.
Yeah.
You just cleaned.
I know, right? Now I can clean more!
Hey.
Alright, so seriously,
Okay.
because we take fun seriously around here. There's no time for games.
Alright. Nothing on
Isn't that right, James?
Correct.
That's right, everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna roll one, actually.
Okay. Seeing nothing of meeting in the decrepit room, I head back to the stairwell with the
Good path is already on the other side of the chamber, peering up at the ceiling as you make your way past the stairway.
Okay.
Or the stairway right here.
Yeah, I'll head over to
You can look up and you can see that that it marries up with a catwalk that leads off and out of view.
Okay. Let's check the stairs first.
As you look up towards the stairs, you suddenly feel something drip on your head, and you look upwards to see bits of moss and dirt falling from overhead. Goodpath looks towards you and then looks back towards the door that he's standing in front of, then looks overhead again. He doesn't say anything, but he does mutter something to himself.
Very well. I follow good path.
You make your way over towards him, then he looks back towards the door, giving it a push and opening it up. The camera pans against the open portal, where we see the forms of the soldiers moving in towards you. And you guys can roll initiative. Lux isn't part of this now.
Is?
It's not. But you can roll initiative all the same. We'll just interject it.
I got a big
Ouchie.
stinking 13.
That's average.
Yeah.
18.
Brochet.
Nice. And that was just the dice.
Brackets.
3,
What did you roll?
2.
Was I supposed to add anything to my 18?
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
not
You're
sure.
right.
Sorry.
I mean, I think you're
4.
top.
So 22, sorry.
Blank.
Yeah.
Looks.
Oh.
7.
Yeah.
And Arn.
Stir.
The Dungeon Master will be going on a
Dude.
What?
19 plus bonus.
Wow. Damn, I'm What do you want, Mom?
And with that said, Miss O'Shea, if you could tell me of your heroism, madam.
Oh, fuck. Well, I'm going to start out by healing myself with my 3rd level healing word. Right, so yeah.
Damn.
That's cool that I can finally get a proper thing built up.
What?
So, long has the idea been that I would put the posts in, and then pull the railing in, and then put light on the inside of the table, or on the outside of the table, sorry, so that we'd have a little bit of a light here. Those lights that Taryn and Jeremy got me for my birthday will be fine, and then people can just whatever color off the remote.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper than actually getting another set of these, and I don't think I really need wireless anything. Just white lights good enough for people, I'm sure.
Help Dana with her storage unit.
Low tech.
Yeah.
Well, they do multicolors. It's just
Why can't that be your character?
really most of these. They're terrible at doing colors.
And you are else's character.
Visually, you see two little soldiers. Their silhouettes easily visible from the illumination of the chamber that you're in. You see them tromping down the hallway, and you see them decently armored for being ragtag rabble-rousers after a fashion. They are old, desiccated bones walking towards you. Armed and armored.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Holy fucking Christ.
It doesn't get happy. It's gonna get a lot worse.
Oh god.
Before it gets better.
We're gonna die. Well then,
Wasn't a coffee
I used a spell.
I don't want to be T-Rexed.
Oh
God.
In one roll.
First attack of the game.
Oh, you were there for that. Yeah, no, I one-shot it off. I one-shot it off. I actually said, and now I'm going to kill a player. And Alexandra laughed and she said some quip, and then I rolled a nat 20, and it was exactly enough to kill Roth.
Oh my god.
It was enough to do 17 damage that Roth had remaining, plus the remaining 36 points of damage that would take to
Wow.
Done.
That's a pretty big hit.
One T-Rex bite.
I just wanted a T-Rex. Why are
Because my dude needed to change shape into a beast. So
Oh,
T-Rex is a beast.
okay. That makes sense. Wow.
Okay. So can I see the skeletons?
You absolutely can see the two skeletons.
Weird.
Oh, great.
Character not set to public or something?
I already used a spell, so I guess what.
Oh, not this turn though.
Oh, not. Oh, this is new.
Yeah, the
Oh, sweet.
combat is 100% new.
Oh shit.
You healed him, and then these guys showed
I
up.
also healed
And
myself.
she killed herself.
During this combat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Very good then.
I'm trying to be honest here, so I used the spell. I'm just going to
That's a bonus action. That's still instead of an actual action.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
do the
bonus
reverse.
action
That's
spell.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I didn't just screw myself out of stuff.
No, you can actually shoot or do something else. You just can't cast another spell unless it's a cantrip.
Okay, I like how that works. Okay, so I will shoot a crossbow at him.
And then actually get
Healing word's amazing.
Okay, so
No.
what?
Jeez, where are some?
No.
Ah.
Start eating it in here.
I don't know if Ball's ever coming back. He's enjoying his Fridays.
That was a sad throw.
Just in chat,
you,
Nick's
I got
saying we need to bring Bruce
Who's
Willis
the
back.
one?
Yeah. He refers to Paul as Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Who's the one? That's critical failure. You just really failed.
Okay. I failed into 3.
That was your attack?
Yep.
And then what were you attacking with? Was your crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay. And in a quick panic shot, you unleash a bolt down the hallway. It ricochets against the ceiling, going too high, and then harmlessly disappears into the darkness down at the back of the hall.
Well, shit.
There's actually the sound of an arrow missing and breaking, but I cannot remember which ones I got in here now. Regardless,
Yeah.
it flies away, harmlessly striking the brick in the back.
Acrobat.
The camera
Brick back.
swings to them as the bolt sails over it. The camera lowers down to show them impending upon. And as they close the distance to where you stand, the one brandishing its sword as it comes amidst you all.
Fuck a duck.
It takes 2 quick sword swipes with a 13 plus 3 and then a 12 plus 3. For 16 and 15 versus your AC. No, sorry, Baracus' AC. And Nar's AC. So, Baracus with a 15, you with a 16.
16 hits.
Of
Of course, it was the other way around. You would have missed, you motherfucker.
15 hits.
Terrific stuff. For 3 apiece, or actually, let me double check that stat, sorry.
Let's see.
It's 13 plus 1 dex.
No, yeah, it's 3 apiece. So
14.
6 and
Because I've got
8
my-
points of damage that you each take in one
Pardon?
quick
How much?
slash.
6?
Yes. Oop, alright. I'm sorry. As the 2 skeletal forms take their quick and deadly swings, Baracus and Nar each receive painful strikes. The camera swings from there to show Leandra off to the side with the blade flaming and manifested.
I would like to hit with my blade against this bitch.
You move expertly upon that bitch.
With
Screaming
a
yes,
critical
it
fail.
looks towards you as you impend upon it. And closing the distance, find yourself deflected to the one side, unfortunately, as it receives you with its blade and smacks you off to the side like so much Toro Toro. From there, alright, the camera pans over to Nar.
Alright. I will
Is
sweep this
everyone gonna roll
guy
badly now?
once.
All the players gonna die from bad rolls.
I mean, it's a
Let's see.
possibility.
Oh no, we got double digits. Okay, we're
I
good.
got a,
Breaking
Get him,
the
Nar,
streak.
get him.
Breaking the
I
streak.
got a 22. Hitting him for 9.
You rattled him bones as he falls backwards from your strike, attempting to receive it and finding himself too brittle to do so effectively. Are you hitting him with bludgeoning damage by any
No.
chance? No, that's too
I
bad.
should be vulnerable.
What?
They're vulnerable. I'll take my second
Is that
swing.
a-
I take my second swing at him
Bear swipe.
and get a 18.
Hits?
And I hit him for
Oh.
5 on that.
14. Actually, hold on. Here.
Do your finger.
What?
What did you do with your finger?
I heard it. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
It
you
just
totally
all of
break
a
them apart.
sudden like
He
was hurt,
blasts
and I was
backwards,
like, "Okay,
falling
great,
to
that's-
pieces."
That's fun. So I wrapped it up. Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. It was burning me when I was
That's in my
like alcoholing pets.
Um,
Yeah,
I have-
alcoholing the pets. It kept getting into my cut. Yeah. It kept getting into my cut, and I'm like, God,
I had an
that's so
explosion, a
bad.
skeletal explosion, but I don't anymore. That one explodes backwards, and as your eyes are fixed on the back of the hallway, as he spills outwards, turning into a pile of old bones, you can see the silhouettes of more on the way.
Wait, he dead?
Yeah, you got blasted backwards into shit.
Shit. Impressive.
With that, the camera pans away from here to show
Holy shit.
Lux moving in upon where a good path is peering through the doorway.
Your L is a little bit curved.
It's because I sleep funny.
Yeah. It says cluster.
I sleep on it, alright?
I see what you mean.
Yeah, right. This is an intense dungeon.
It's not the worst I've done, dude.
I think it's beautiful.
Doesn't have to follow through the whole thing.
I've been 2 hours.
That's too big now. That's ish. There's no fucking way.
Would you like my staircase that I stole from you?
No, not good.
Crash bang.
There you go.
Hold up!
I'm trying to be like all soft. Ish? I guess we'll find across.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Door
That's
here.
where I transition in.
That's where you transition in.
Yeah.
You can spawn yourself there. Accordingly.
Okay, and presumably good path. Shortly behind.
Another random bric-a-brac sticking through the wall here. Actually, you know what? We'll put it through the wall there. Not so in the way.
One of these.
There you go, actually.
What?
This in the center here. Is that gonna stand?
Yes.
Hey, look at that. We'll do that. We'll do. Now, we'll do this.
I know why I'm not playing with you.
Okay.
What's this?
That's better.
You'll reach that. So, forget that. Do the doors.
Is there a possible plug over here, Joel?
Yes.
I was kind of wondering about that too.
Because with the power outage, wasn't able to charge my phone.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Right as it was going, I think I picked up the phone to go charge it.
Why did you think there was no game tonight?
Oh, you wrong?
Because the power was out where we were.
Oh, the power's out here.
Yeah, so I'm just like, there's no power, or are we gonna overtime it, or is it just canceled?
Right. That makes sense.
Just put a bunch of like candles, have everyone record like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Shop it together throughout the week so it looks terrible.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Sorry it wasn't live stream. This is why.
Just like that.
Hey,
Right? Everyone has power!
Power to the
I have
people.
empowered all my people.
You have. Amen.
Beautiful.
I have empowered you. I empowered you.
Hello.
You peer through the doorway. As you do so, Good Path steps in past you, and right, step in the chamber.
Okay. Some rocks.
Pretty in red.
Oh, wow. That's a long one.
Oh, hi, thank you.
So we'll put that, you know what, we'll put that there. Ooh, I'm gonna get that there. Next to that desk. That sits on it.
Ooh.
That's a pretty purple dice.
It is a pretty purple dice.
Stacy got it for me.
It's very pretty.
She got that one and a silver set to go with it.
Damn.
Yeah, really nice. I think that one killed Celeste.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
Oh, rocks.
Yeah. As you peer into the chamber, you can see down at the bottom there.
Yep.
This unit situated on the desk.
Okay.
The rest of the chamber, was looking for these. And that. And actually, you know what? You know what? Those will do. Although these are what I was after, so another kind each.
Ooh, tables.
Okay.
Okay. Is it pedestal?
Stairs or something? Oh, pedestals. There's some monster crystals.
So I'm assuming you're exploring somewhat here, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to head inside?
Yep.
Place yourself wherever you want to be.
Okay, any other doors in the space?
As you walk out into the area, Goodpath looks down the ramp here. And,
Knocks it over.
yeah, right.
And breaks it, you know?
It says, shoddily built. He says, be most careful. It is difficult to say what danger. And he looks over towards the side. What dangers there might be lurking. As you come around the stairs and down the way, you're looking at the ground where there's rails running against the sides of the ground, just up ahead. That marry up with where these pillars are situated. And as you're looking towards them, you see this thing suddenly rise up off the ground. A pile of bones suddenly assemble with a clickety-clack as it all falls into position, the head rolling forward onto its shoulder blades and up onto its spine, mounting itself and closing up
As
the
I see it
perfect
moving,
squaring
I'm
off.
quickly sheathing my daggers and grabbing my swords.
Okay. You sheathe and yank, as it were, and the camera pans away from you as Goodpath slides in the frame next to you, axe to the ready. And as he hoists it, he says, "Today is a good day." The camera pans to Baracus.
I get the one that hit me. Was it hit by anything?
This is
The
nice.
one that's left?
No, it's not been hit. It's not.
Okay. I guess
Yes.
because I'll.
And you're in front of me. That's why I
Give
didn't
me
get
the-
fit.
grab them
Thank
all in the
you.
metal box.
Should have done Hellish Rebuke. I guess I'll just. No, I don't want to waste that. Yeah, I'll just kick him in the lip. Can I kick him in the knee and then run?
Yes.
Good. Because I have those
second pair
boots.
of
The other pair of
boots.
boots.
Got an earwig on your box, bud.
Is it steel toes? Is it the steel toes?
Yeah, I got one of the two sets of steel toes.
That's right on.
Remember that
I think
killed
you
the
were
girl?
D4 bludgeoning?
D4 plus 5 bludgeoning.
Oh, for your bonus?
Yeah, that's what you gave
That's
me.
what you gave her.
And then you said the exact same pair of boots.
The boots wouldn't be plus 5. It would end up being
D4 plus your.
attack bonus for attacking with
Okay.
your strength for your damage bonus.
So, yeah, okay.
Strength. How much strength?
It's a
is that?
versatile weapon, so if you
Yeah.
want to use strength or dexterity, either
I
with
think I'd go with
or
dex.
finesse. Yeah, sorry, not
Finesse?
versatile. You can use it with 2 feet.
So I can use it as like a dex weapon instead of a strength.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, so I'll be doing that to kick him.
That sounds good.
Finesse for the shit.
And 3 regardless as.
Okay, fantastic. You take a wild Sparta swing with your feet. Much to your dismay, you hit nothing but air with a swift kick. From there, the camera sweeps. What's up? What's up? That pole is getting on. Camera pans over towards your compatriot O'Shea.
That's the one he missed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one's still standing. The one still standing. That's the one you missed.
Okay, sounds great. Let's see, actions. And
The camera closes in on O'Shea's face, showing an expression of what? Confusion, glee, anger, sadness, frustration.
Little bit of confusion as to what to do.
As you look around the chamber, the crystals glowing against the din of combat, they reflect your face to you. They reflect the silhouettes of your compatriots blurry against these strange demon forms trapped inside. You look out the doorway to see the silhouette of the skeleton in front of it, and the silhouettes of the skeletons impending beyond it.
Okay, well then, let's see, do I have these on my spell list? Oh, I do. Okay,
Nap's got kind of big.
Pass that note.
what note are you passing?
Ew. That passed you to throw in the garbage.
Put it on
Kung Fu is
I'll
wrong.
touch it.
Well, you put it.
Double rapper.
Yeah, I'll double
I
dagger.
remember one of the videos I posted on Instagram was a guy doing the fast jump. He goes over, his dick catches the bar, and you can clearly see it as it just wang, 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 the whole bar, wang. And the bar totally fell, and he's just dying on the way down for a guy. Full on caught it, just big sausage taking the bar down. Fucking, this guy's high jumper, he's got the full knee ties out, and he fucking, no, not just with his testicles, like the head of his dick. Right? So I don't know if you ever did that, but hit the head of your dick on something. I've done it twice in my life, and both times sucks.
Why did you hit your dick
I'd
on
rather
If you waggle your dick off while sitting on the
Yeah.
toilet, right, you'll hit the side of the hit the seat. Man, that fucking hurts. I was jiggling it hard, not like
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Wow, way too much information.
Just saying, right? Fucking
Just
that
the
shit
right
hurts.
words.
That shit hurts.
Okay, so for my attack, I'll use my +1
Dude,
maul.
man, fucking be careful, you know, and don't get caught in the zipper. Like holy fuck, you wanna get 1,000 cuts? Like right there, man. Only once. Only once.
Preferably
Never
not at
again.
all.
Preferably not at all, right? It's like math, right? You don't learn your lesson the first time, you're fucked.
Nope. Can't.
Be careful with the labia too.
Yes.
Woo!
Of course.
Woo! I don't even have one in that fucking. Oh god.
Just
Ugh.
split nuts.
Alright.
Anyway, attack with my maul to the skeleton right there. Like close the distance, and then yeah.
O'Shea brandishes the maul, holding it with two hands, bringing it aloft, and swings mightily into the skeleton.
21.
To hit,
Yes.
like a cheap Cuban, you smoke it.
Smoke it.
Alright.
I need to go with the better one. It's always smoke it. It's always smoke it.
9 + 1, so 10.
And because it's bludgeoning, he's vulnerable, and so you just did 20 odd points. Point being is he has less than that in hit points. As the
dead!
ball falls upon him, crushing him into a pile of bone meal, he rattles and explodes apart, shards flying towards Baracus as the skeleton explodes apart from the squashing force of your maul. As you swing through, smashing it to bits, pulverizing it where it stands. Baracus is showered. And the camera pans over to me, showing more of them coming down the hall. No, I want to go. Okay, fine, fine, go. See if I care. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Jen?
John.
I'm gonna healing word myself again,
Fabulous.
and then it can be your turn.
As
Okay.
you reach out to the ether and pull forth energies.
The ether?
Ether. The ether.
Let's try a little itty bitty one this time.
Itty bitty.
You watch as a trio of well-armored skeletons make their way through the hallway. Nope. When suddenly the one in the back
Oh.
Starts to dance.
Oh man.
begins to dance.
Yeah.
The one in the back suddenly
That?
ignites.
Is that a flame troll? The hell?
Looks epic.
Boys.
A blazing skeleton.
That's
Don't worry,
good.
I'll
Wow.
fix that.
I healed him and gave myself full hit points. Yay!
That's 3.
As the fellow ignites, you hear rattling from the distance, and you're not sure if he's screaming or if it's the sound of suction of wind as the blazing sphere soars in towards where you stand, exploding in the chamber. Everybody can make me a dex save. If it's 13 or better,
No.
Hey, inspiration. You want to give me inspiration back?
I'll give you inspiration back.
Hey!
Neutral inspiration.
That helped a little bit, but still, like.
Hey! I failed too.
did that just happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Crit!
Did you crit fail? Oh my god!
Ooh, I didn't
You rolled
crit.
advantage for the inspiration, so
Yeah.
that one's the higher one.
Oh, okay. So
The higher
that's
one.
2.
Much better. As it were, though, if you got 13 or better, then you can take 6 damage. Otherwise, you take 12. I rolled shit. And
You
were
rolled
all-
shit?
I rolled shit.
I'm almost dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Baracus collapses.
I do as
At a -9.
You're level 4, aren't you?
No, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But,
Aren't you
yeah.
5? Thought everyone was 5 except me.
I just got to 5, but I haven't had my long rest to
shit.
go
It's
in.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I know. Forgot.
Wasn't there a door in this chamber?
No.
No, there was never.
There's no door.
Off.
I'm unconscious too.
You went up?
I'm unconscious as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh. Really?
Mm.
Really? God damn it.
Sucks.
Oh. Okay. Great. Can I? Hold on.
So, sorry, whose turn is it?
I have to do my spell first and then my bonus action cantrip after, right?
Mine
Oh, it could
appeared.
be an hour.
It can be either or?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So this is it.
Okay, first thing I'm gonna do healing word myself.
Okay.
Because you almost did. I'm gonna do second level healing word.
Oh, sorry. Right.
It's all good. Again, it is good.
Note to self. If I die, play a healer. Huh?
Forge player.
Okay. That's it. I'm proud of it.
Just go. Okay, good. And then. Is there any stones around me?
You know what?
That does not fit.
Someone's
You are
gonna just
correct.
start
That's a shadow running me now.
I know. Actually, that might have been what it was. Anyway, there is some rubble.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna. Can I have the stick? The stick of measurement?
Don't give on the stick.
A stick of
Thank you.
measurement.
I'll be right.
I'll be later.
I guess I'm technically over here because I was fighting the skeletons before.
Hope we don't die.
I know.
I'm 100% gonna die.
That'd be sad.
Hey, would a flaming skeleton be immune to flames?
No chances.
Unless something else made it burst into flames.
Yeah, the city's on fire. Like, slowly dying.
If he's
Well,
not
most
like,
likely
yeah,
he is immune to
this is
fire.
what I'm supposed to be, you know.
So I can double move as my action, and then my cantrip would have been my bonus action. Yes?
You can what? Double move?
Yes.
Yeah, dash. You can dash. That's your action.
Dash, 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 dash. Fuck off, guys.
Oh.
Bye.
Can you run through enemies though?
Sorry?
What?
Can you run through enemies? No.
You are not in.
No, that's a shocked.
Let's use the alternate acrobatics tumbling through squares rules.
Parkour.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. Sorry, I was
Yep,
mixed that
because
up
of
with
parkour.
two sizes. Two sizes is 3, otherwise you have to roll athletics or acrobatics to jump through. No, it's acrobatics specifically.
Yeah.
It's
So
acrobatics to
I
get
roll
through somebody's spot.
acrobatics
Yeah.
on all 3 of them.
I'll let it go with 1 as a cumulative, let's say 16 or better, to jump through all 3 of them.
Fail.
And if I count that as difficult terrain, that's like more than all your movement. Where are you?
She's trying to run through all where she was to where she is there.
It's
Behind
60.
levels. After the list, I guess.
You didn't have to.
I cast a healing word for my bonus action.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Not up the stairs and everything either.
No.
No, you make it go around the corner. That was being generous.
Okay.
Because you were in the room, were you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like just here, like, because I was fighting the skeletons.
Yeah.
And it's an 8. So great.
Right on.
You rush in towards them. As you go to jump past this guy,
He surprisingly moves an arm into position and clotheslines against your shoulder and breast,
Okay.
grabbing a hold of your entire chest with his forearm and throws you back in
Okay.
one quick, lazy but strong movement.
Since I didn't double move, can I still attack him?
Thoroughly.
Great. I'm gonna attack him with my
Oh.
full blade.
As you rear
Can I
back,
please have another dice, please?
this tumbling force, he puts
Please,
the
please roll
body.
again.
I'll give you inspiration.
Thank
You
you.
may have my inspiration.
That's better. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My dice. Thank you.
You know if you actually set it on 20 and then nuke it for about 5 seconds?
6, 7, 8,
Really?
18.
Sorry?
18 to hit.
Not
So-
a good idea to do
I got some
it.
extra ones if you want to use those.
What a fucking
Ooh, those are
thing.
pretty.
You rear back with your flaming blade and thrust forth. The will of your strength creases against his armor, separating links and sending the bones rattling back and forth inside the chained sock of armor. 8 total?
Thank you. Yes.
As he shakes back and forth, rattling and rolling inside his chainmail, he still stands a moment later. With that, Leandra rears with her blade, and her hair flows epically. The camera pans to not.
I'm unconscious. Let's save it there. 1 success.
Terrific.
Victory.
With that, he doesn't die. The camera pans away from his unconscious body as he stirs about, sweating and bleeding, bruised and in pain, to Lux in the hall as he faces off against the multi-limbed, strange skeletal form standing across from him.
Okay.
The blades whirl back and forth of the strange skeleton.
Or are you just like rolling a death?
Interesting.
Okay.
I went to minus.
You don't go negative.
You know what,
Just
fuck
go to
it.
0. There's no negatives.
I'm sorry, what?
There's no negative numbers. You just go to 0 when you roll death saving
Yeah,
throws.
see the death saving things came up.
Oh,
Okay.
Gosh darn it.
so can someone heal you?
Yes.
And you don't have to do a death save?
Nope. Just
Oh,
wait
cool.
to pop back up.
Alrighty.
Like Pokemon.
So.
Don't you worry, Raichu, I'll fix you up real good.
You know what? Screw it.
That was my favorite one.
Charge.
First 151.
Right, shoot on it.
Yep, not Pikachu. Fuck that
Just
guy.
start another burn.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great and all. For me, I liked Raichu. And then they made Raichu psychic. It was great.
Psychic Raichu?
What's Lux doing?
What in the world?
Charging in.
Terrific. Lux rushes forth, Michael baying towards his opposition.
Okay. And
Swingy.
Can I use the Pepsi? Please?
No.
first blade is almost certainly going to miss for 12.
12 does. As you bring the blade down in, one of the many arms crashes against your incoming sword. As you bring down your second blade,
Offhand blade for 18.
smokes inwards. Penetrating the defenses, finding an opening amidst the whirling swords, you strike upon the skeletal form for 9 points of damage. From there, the camera sweeps to show the impending Dr. Goodpath, who rushes in aside, skirting about. Actually, he doesn't have that much movement. Skirting around to the side. Actually, you know what? He does have a couple levels of Barbarian. Fuck it.
Again?
I don't have the keys. Oh, that's fixed. I did it with my sheer will. That was all me, folks. My mind powers. Camera sweeps around to show the epic Dr. Goodpath, bringing up the rear with his 40 feet of movement because Barbarian.
Yeah.
As he brings him out the rear and he crashes into the 6-armed freak of a skeleton soldier, he fails with his advantage to land a blow with a 9 plus 5 for a total of 14. Actually, no, plus 6 for a total of 15. But missing by 1, the 4-armed soldier reaches back with one of the blades over his shoulder, catching the incoming axe strike. From there, the camera sweeps back to the others. In a quick flash, we find ourselves faced up on Baracus inside the chamber, unconscious. As the camera slowly makes its way around,
I will go for my first attempt. And I gotta get what?
10 or better. And you can add blessings.
Oh, 10.
That's a 10.
That's a 10.
That's a success.
So I am stabilized and it's
Success.
You made
oh,
blessings at
right.
Hey, I'm just realizing, I think I used a +1 short sword as the base for those D6 swords. I'm guessing I should not have an additional +1.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'll fix
You
that.
have 1 plus 1 sword, yeah?
No, I have 2 D6 force swords.
No, I also thought you had a plus 1 sword. I'm remembering wrong. Getting the campaigns crossed.
Nope.
Okay.
I do not have a conventional +1.
That said, you were going to do a what now? Or are we? Sorry. No, we weren't on you. No, we were on you. No, we just finished with you and me. It is over to Brackus, who just made a save.
I made
You
a successful save.
Fabulous. With that said, the camera pans away from your sweating, writhing, pained, and racked body down on the ground.
Rules of life forming
Behind you, as it swings up to O'Shea standing over you.
Great. Okay, so cantrips.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh.
We're
Girl
setting shit on
says
fire.
fires.
Fire?
Nice. Terminating.
You burn the dungeon master.
Actually, no.
Oh, that's the flaming skeleton.
Ooh. Oh, shit. Fire in the house. Oh, shit, there's a fire in the house.
Oh shit. Alright, can't do it like that. Gotta do it this way.
Kind of get like a fiery look.
That's all it takes to do that. And it'll actually go fiery like that. So that's all natural. I can leave the blade do its own thing. The kicker is now steady, so I'll throw that to a white. and it'll continue to do its thing.
Alright, well, since you said I can do the bonus thingy first, I will heal you.
Cool.
And let me just check and see which level I'm using.
Yeah, that's nice.
You get second level healing word.
You gotta heal. You gotta heal.
That's your job, apparently.
Yay!
Hashtag not dead.
That's what you get.
5?
Plus or
So you got 5 plus 4. You get a 9.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sacrifice a little bit of air just to get a little bit of.
Thank you.
A little bit of heat to get a little bit of air. Just to,
You're welcome. Please don't die again.
Does it take me up to the 1 or?
We'll take you above right from whatever she did to that number because you don't go below 0.
Okay, so just whatever.
Yeah,
You get 9.
She got different 9s, you go to 9.
Alright, so we got corpses in front of us. That's great.
Big trail that goes for snakes around.
I guess.
Thank you.
Sorry for that terrible noise.
You.
Just gonna...
You should be. There we go. So now I got those.
And then when you come back, I'm gonna smack it with my maul.
Smack it good. Do.
Like the one closest to me. Obviously. You love fire so much.
It's a fire stick.
So what's Miss what you doing?
I cast the healing word on him, and then I moved. So I'm right beside Leandra, and I'm going to smack it in the face with the maul.
Okay.
So I'm hoping I get a better roll this time.
Me too.
Are you expecting that to lick down?
After hitting the wall, you swing it forward.
You! Oh.
As you bring it down, the skeleton surprisingly steps to the side El Toro style, bringing its blade to bear against the wall, deflecting it off to the one side. As it stands before you, two-handing its blade, it suddenly brings it about, overhead and down, striking upon you with a 19 plus 3. Straight, or is it? Let me double check that. Yeah, it was plus 3 I was given it before.
We got a pyro here.
I'm adding special effects.
With an
Now-
8 points of damage, it cleaves down through you, slashing from shoulder to hip. As your armor catches a hold of the impact, the second one pushes against and strikes upon where Leandra stands. With a 6 plus 3, it reaches the blade upwards overhead and slashes down. You bring your metal arm up just in time to catch against it and deflect it off, sparks showering down. From there, behind you, you watch as once again this skeleton unleashes another flaming orb down into the room. As it explodes in the chamber, 15 feet all around, so Baracus and Nar. Baracus is down. You're immune to fire, though.
Resistant.
Oh, resistance.
You're resistant to fire. Okay, so.
I still would have gone below 0 with the last
Yeah,
one.
so you get another death. You get an automatic death failure.
Yeah, but she brought
Oh,
me
it's
up
not
to
it.
9.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah, she
you're
brought me
unconscious
up to
again.
9 now.
You're unconscious again.
Yeah.
Shitty.
You didn't make your save?
She healed me.
I know you didn't make your save just now, though.
How much did you heal for?
9.
9.
Oh, shit. Yeah, by all means, let's roll some damage then.
Oh, this save, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
5.
Terrific. So you're gonna take 25 points of damage.
So another 12.
12. And are back unconscious. That said, though, Nar?
Hashtag not dead.
Nope, not a failure.
Hashtag slightly more dead.
So, I said a 13. For this one, it was a 13 dex. So, for the save.
I don't even know how to roll.
Oh, you're unconscious?
Oh, I'm rolling the death save, not 13 dex. I took a failed death save for unconsciousness. And now that was my failed essay because it'd be. That's.
That's fine. You can take it now.
Yeah.
So that does conclude my turn. It's back over to Leandra.
Yes. I would like to heal myself.
Sounds like a good
Seems like a
plan.
theme.
I'm gonna do some healing word again.
There's lots of gear.
And then, with my sword, I'm going to actually.
Rewire the skin of the sky's ending.
That said, it's got a lot more slack now, which is good.
Yeah, since it's now up in James' crotch.
Yeah. Details.
If it was actually sitting between you guys, it would just have all the slack in the world.
14.
14 is going to hit.
Got it.
That is a 16.
16 damage will push him over the line in one fell stroke. You can drop him.
Dropped.
As your green blade sears through him, flames eviscerating link after link after link in one quick row of damage, he falls apart in a pile of shattered bone meal. Never hands over to you. You already did your death save and failed it. It's over to Lux.
Okay. Stabby, stabby.
Oh, I have advantage.
So that's going to be 19 on the first strike.
like watching the Chinese
And
discover
21
fireworks.
on the second.
They both hit.
I assume.
Give me one.
Okay, so weapon, force, and sneak.
This one's smelly.
Oh, shitty roll.
Insect.
5, 10, 12, plus.
I have plans. Just have to burn this one a little bit more.
So 16 from the first weapon.
Drops him.
Oh.
Unexpected.
How do you do that from way over there? Are you here or over there?
Oh,
What's
whatever.
that? This guy.
Sorry, I don't know why I tripped out. I thought you were in the room.
Yeah, I would assume a
This guy over here takes 16. Terrific stuff.
plus another 7.
So 20, thank you. And then he had 9 before, so
32.
thank you. Since you were already geared for mathematics, I figured I'd just hit you up. Accumulating to 32 damage, you quickly take short work of slashing ribcage pieces out of him, blasting against one of the arms. You put him
Take
as
off some-
massive
take some chips
crack
off
through
that
one of the
bone.
biceps. As you take another quick swipe upwards, a piece of his one of his radius bones just blasts off on the.
As
on
it
that
strikes,
side.
the explosion of force causes some more shattering.
One after the next, the bones popping away from it. You rear back as Good Path opens up on the other side. Taking a massive swipe in, he still manages to miss as the thing catches against his own blade once again, deflecting the massive orc off to the side. He stumbles yonder, giving a massive grunt as he does. Angrily, he chuffs and then reasserts himself in the combat a moment later. Camera pans away. Back here. And where are we at? Is Baracus. On the ground as you are. Again, sweeps it upon you.
Such a high roll.
9 plus what am I looking at?
Nothing.
As you look over your stats for a moment, you hear a grumbling deep inside. And 9 I believe fails. So there's no bonus to it. It's just if you have bless, you can roll bless on it.
Okay, so fails.
So with that, you hear a grumbling. That was just 2 so far?
Well, this was a new one.
Yeah, but he had a fail from before
But
as
he-
well.
I healed him in between, so he
That
was,
took a while.
Oh,
he
that's
was a new.
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you fail once, you hear a grumbling deep in your subconscious, an angry sort of thrum that resonates deep inside you, echoing upwards from somewhere.
Oh no.
Sounds like an Ajesh.
Yeah, a little bit.
That sounds like a dance.
Never sneaks away. Once again, Gaucher.
Ah, lovely.
Bits of flaming and charred mortar are now dripping down from the ceiling, falling to the ground about where the skeleton stands, frothing with a conflagration all about. The whole of the chamber is now hotter than ever.
Have you failed any more death saving?
I'm 1 away from death.
You're 1 away from death?
The whole of the area starved for oxygen, yourselves bleary-eyed and suffocating.
I'll go back over here.
Rocher rushes backwards into the chamber, finding, oddly enough, better air in here than in the hall. It's almost a relief breathing again. As you close the distance on your compatriot, you bring about the healing word. Roll high, girl!
You get 2 + 4.
Oof.
It's something.
It is.
Restarts those horrible throws.
Oh my god, it's just an ass mess of the colors. There is a shade of the deck. Terrific stuff.
Excellent.
Is
Cool.
that the magic effect? There's nothing. Nothing.
I guess. I'm just gonna hide around the corner here then, right there.
Don't forget to shoot.
I can shoot?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
bonus action.
Okay, so right there, I guess I'm lined up here so I'm not gonna hit her. I'll shoot with the crossbow.
Sounds good.
1d6.
You grab a hold of the string, cocking a bolt into the trough and releasing the string a second later.
Nope.
You didn't
As it
think
sails
that when I was...
harmlessly
I
away
can
into
feel my
the
inspiration.
Oh, cool.
All the healing we've been doing.
Okay,
Oh, there's a
cool.
bug!
There's a bug.
Burn it! Burn the bug.
Oh, neat. Poke it.
Poke it to fire.
Sadistic bastards.
Right?
Burning. Burning.
At least we're gonna film this.
13.
Wait, wait, underneath.
It's interesting.
13.
Yeah, I got a 13.
13 on. The guy in the front here misses by 1. Which I think is a 15, and I fucked that up before. No. It's 14 for the AC. So.
Okay.
The bull, what was it? Bull sails harmlessly away past your quarry, burning away in the flames a second later as it hits the conflagration in the hall. As the camera pans against your expression, it shows an expression of what?
Disappointment.
A disappointed O'Shea as the flames flicker in your eyes, reflecting the carnage and destruction of this place.
Doing so hot.
The flaming skeleton in front of you suddenly extinguishes.
Ooh.
As he stands there a moment, the one in front steps forward on Leandra. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, your elven eyes peer forth to receive an impending strike at 16 versus your AC.
Me?
Yes. As the soldier skeleton steps forward, 2 hands on its sword, it swings high in and comes down upon you. as it delivers a strike of much power. You catch upon your arm 5 points of slashing damage as sparks clean off. You deflect the blade away, bits of your arm scathe off. As you look towards the skeleton form, you watch as the once burning thing in the background sits and sears a moment. Little bits of flame erupt from its skeletal form as it attempts to reignite itself. Oh yeah, it's always echoing.
It is?
Oh yeah, it's always echoing.
I didn't want to interrupt your
The noise gate is supposed to help with that, but instead it's just kind of mutes you if one or the other can't hear it. And there's noise. With the music going though, it overcomes the noise gate, so because they're all on now. This is the music. So noise gate basically, if there's not enough sound, it just shuts down the mic, so that there's not a bunch of excess noise.
Yeah.
But because of the music, all the mics are just going to be constantly going anyway, so they're all picking me up because I'm loud.
Yeah.
So they're doing their job, as am I, and there's a conundrum there as a result.
That's awesome. I'm just talking with my friend who's watching us right now. So.
Having said all that, the guy in the back here was trying to reignite himself. Basically, he's going and you see like a bit of that ignites at his fingertips. But after this guy's going to step back from you, and this guy's going to rush in, and he's going to leap upon you with flaming claws. Yes. Because why climb Everest? Why swim the English Channel? 13 plus 3 again for 16 versus your AC. I'm gonna assume hits. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. I just work here. He's hitting. It's not me. It's not personal. So a D6 claw plus a D6 of flaming damage as he comes in upon you, striking with flaming claws, as it were, for 4 points of plus 3, 7 points of damage total. As his claws rake across you for 6, and you take 1 additional flaming point of damage. You swoon for the moment as the strike hits you.
I'm dead.
And you fall to the side. As your body strikes upon the pavement against the heat that is soaking upon your skin, you hear in the back of your mind,
Not blood.
So, never hands away from Leandra to Nar.
Nar.
Wait, don't I get a turn?
You get your death save. That was actually my last move. Oh, I haven't actually done this guy.
Shit.
Hey, John says try to dodge next time.
Dr. Goodpath watches
Actually, I thought
as
that I should
one
have
after the next.
the first attack.
One after the next, the blades impending upon Lux are caught by each of Lux's hands and blades. Deflecting one after the next, the strikes coming upon you in a whirlwind, it's all of a sudden that one pierces through on a natural 20.
Oh shit.
Seriously, 4 strikes at a +3, none of them hit except for the nat 20, so... all single digits otherwise.
Wow.
And this guy's gonna be wielding all short swords, but, lucky you, they have force damage. So, that said, it's a d6 plus a d6 plus 3, for 3 plus 3 plus 1, once again, for 7 points of damage, 1 force and 6 slashing. As you receive the strike across your armor, it blows you backwards as Goodpath rears and says, "Careful!" And from there, camera pans to Nar. You did not make your set save.
I'm conscious now. That's not last time. Fuck me sideways.
I did that with some fuel once, some lighter fluid, and it cracked the glass dish.
I'm all
inside
good,
for
too.
the heat intensity. I was surprised.
Wow.
That's glass?
No, that's like Pyrex. It's meant to be heated.
Alright, so I am going to stand up. So that's half my movement right there.
Fabulous.
And I We'll move 15 feet closer to these fucking guys.
Alright. You move 50 feet closer to these fucking
I'm
guys.
confused about the action.
There's so much action.
So, come on the whole list.
Just
So you rush
bazillion
over and
bodies.
cross everything, closing the distance on,
I can actually reach it with 15 feet?
yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
So you're inspired and moving through.
Okay.
You know what? Favorite terrain? Desiccated corpses.
I'll take a swing at this motherfucker then.
A few Hollywood cool, like, lots of fucking massive bodies.
solely so I can see.
I will not hit the first attack.
And you wasted my GMG on
No.
Give me another one. Swing another one.
Swing it.
A 25 on that one. And I hit for 6 points of damage.
Is it bludgeoning?
No.
Why is it not bludgeoning? I don't know.
So am I
Tell me you're hitting
actually-
with the flat side. Shit, man.
So am I just moved back 5 or am I out?
Sorry, how much damage total? 6?
6.
6. You know, 6 is a respectable number.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's
Until you see
It's a little
the
better.
number of d6s I've.
Until you see a 7. But anyway, the camera pans against your striking hand upon the brow of the skeleton as it receives your smashing blow. It rears backwards, rattling in its stance, and attempts again to ignite frustratedly, attempting its best to flame on, as it were. But that said, the camera sweeps away from this failing self to show Lux facing off against the multi-armed freak.
Yep. Well, I guess I'm
Why's he gotta be a freak?
stepping in again after.
It just makes me think
knocking
it's
back.
six-armed freak, like eight-legged freak.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
that's sharp.
You
Wow.
want
But
Just a shot there.
Oh, nice.
That's
just
crisp.
admiring yourself?
That's just, no, the fucking minis.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
I mean, yes, but no, the minis.
I mean, the minis are pretty good.
That's
I look
pretty
great.
good.
Yes, it is.
Okay. You think that's a stab? This is a stab.
You take a 5 experience, 1 minor bonus, and strike true. Well, that's it.
Okay, and incidentally, I'm only swinging one blade as a green flame blade,
Alright,
just for variety.
fair enough.
So it's gonna be 15 plus. No. 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
Okay, so then I get my. So sneak. You can still sneak with green flame blade.
Yep.
I completely fucked that up. Okay, so then force and the blade and then the d8.
Roll it out.
That's a lot of ones.
Oh, shitty.
Making a total let's see that.
You're supposed to roll damage, not tally it up.
12 plus.
That's fucking good. Really? Come on, that's fucking good.
Oh, sorry.
Roll damage, not tally it up. Oh.
Okay, so plus.
It's okay, James. You can use that
16.
at your table.
Okay.
You owe me a nickel.
16, 3 of which is fire.
I guess
Alright,
that's-
terrific. As you blast, Jesus, man, why do you have to hit so hot? 48.
That was a shitty roll.
Fuck. Yeah, my point still stands. Actually, it becomes more validated.
You gave me a bunch of force swords,
As
dude.
Alright. Go me.
They
And
kinda-
you're welcome.
They kind of hit shit.
I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional here. You see what this is? This is a studio. This is a professional establishment. Anyway, so
Otherwise, I'd be using rapiers.
Are they an extra die 6 or something?
and you do
Yeah,
damage.
they do an extra
From
d6.
there, the camera pans over to
Otherwise, I'd be
your
using
rapiers.
rapiers because I have to.
Oh, sorry, hang on.
Okay,
Good path.
the dual wield feet, yeah.
Good path rears backwards and takes a good mighty swing through.
Yeah, that's not as good, except for the plus what I see.
8+ thing.
And you can draw 2 weapons at once.
As he steps forward at the same time as you're barreling through the thing's defenses with your strikes, Goodpath steps through with one final smashing blow against the thing's pelvis, taking the legs out from where they meet with the spine. As it rips from the cord, the whole of it falls over in a clattering pile.
Okay. Whatever
where you're
spot
standing.
was hit by my little flame, I just bend down. That spot.
You do so. As you extinguish the flames and look around the chamber, the whole of the place has a strange din to it, and you can hear in the distance the echoings of battle.
Any doors out of this room?
Yes, the one you came through.
That's
Otherwise, there's a cubby at the back here.
Cubby.
A cubby.
Alright, well, since we're alone in the room, the sun rises, and I'm going to search the room.
You illuminate the area and it shows a bright scene as it fades in upon. The flaming chamber in which stands. No, that's not right. Brachus. No, Blaze Brachus. Does the camera sit on your face?
That's funny.
I don't believe in you.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, good job.
Wow, somebody actually
Your eyes
crit.
snap away as you
It
stir.
doesn't feel like we crit very often, does it?
No.
And some days, as your eyes snap away, blood and adrenaline pumping side by side through your veins. You look around. The entirety of the area is scathed in flame from what you can see coming through the hall. Smoke billowing about, heat waves rent upon your vision at the ceiling.
Did we ever replace the thing on the pedestal?
No.
No.
Yes.
Yes. So now it's the
You
one
were
for the
getting to the
staff.
tiles when these guys showed up.
Right. How far along on the tiles was I?
You hadn't started.
No.
No.
Do I see? Like, I don't see anyone in the room really other than O'Shea.
That would be correct.
Okay.
You also hear the vicious sounds of battle just down the hall, and the screaming sound of Leandra along with her dropping body.
Oh right. All the
There was,
days.
yes, that.
Right. Okay. I guess I'm right by the thing there, so I'll use half my movement to get up.
You died, you'll never
As you
get the
stir to
secret.
life and rush over towards where you see O'Shea situated, you sight down the hallway to see the carnage. And you see literally the foot.
What do my health points go up to, by the way? Forget.
Whatever you just got healed. Oh, 1 point.
1 point.
Yeah.
Oh, and an natural, yes.
You get free health for rolling an at 20?
When you're on your death save, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're on natural 1, you fail 2
That's
dice
so
afterwards.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will do.
Do you get more than an action, or is it just one action?
It's your, that starts at the beginning of your turn, so you get your full round.
Oh, you get full turn.
Oh, okay. So that's
you were?
that. What's that?
Grab some
I'm done,
marshmallows.
aren't I? I'm done, aren't I?
No, you have your full action. You
You
have
have
your
your
full
full
action.
action,
Yeah.
Okay.
You have your bonus action.
Yeah, I will. I guess. What do I
The
want?
vicious sword.
No, I can see the one that was on fire and it's been damaged, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll do Toll the Dead.
Bigly. Bigly damaged.
You must make a wisdom saving throw.
Watch me fail, watch me crit fail.
Sweet. Now I get to do 1d12.
Aren't you 5th, technically? Or is, I guess you're not technically 5th, are you?
I need a 12. Where'd it go?
This one?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Sure. I don't use that very often.
Just a straight die.
7 damage.
7 down?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
Blasting against that guy?
Yeah.
He doesn't sound happy.
Well, the potential's there, right? It's a d12. So.
Yeah. Highly
Yeah,
rated.
close it.
Okay,
That's
that's
big
good.
damage? Hold on, is
I
that
hit
6?
him.
You hit
I hit
you
6,
hit.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. That's this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Blow him away by 1. Fabulous stuff. And you hit him with your?
That was Toll the
Grab your
Dead.
heroism.
That's what
Yeah.
Very nice. And he drops into a scathed pile of bones.
Cool.
As you siphon away what little health he may have had in his own life,
Oh yeah, because I get 7
He drops in front of Nar.
temporary points.
The camera shows Nar's what expression?
We're fucking relieved for once.
As the
Someone's
thing
doing something.
clatters away in front of him, it closes in on you and shows Baracus in the background, fuzzy, as your face, disheveled with sweat and blood and burnination.
Burninating the
It is
countryside.
revealed to the one side stands O'Shea next to Baracus in the background. And then it like super fast zooms in on you. So what do you do? Go ahead, you're good. You're safe! Not O'Shea. What is it you do to save the day?
So there's that one monster left right there?
One monster is left. The camera pans back, shows said monster, and O'Shea standing off in the distance.
So just a question: if I were to acid splash it, would that like hit you by accident? You'd be cool. Okay, cool. Cool.
It's very cool acid.
All right, I will try to acid splash it.
Okay?
That's a hand trick.
Trippy.
Ah!
You failed.
Okay, so no, I got a 16.
Oh, that.
That is it.
Plus 4, so 20.
Should be plus 7. No?
7.
Aren't you plus 4 charisma modifier?
Generally be quite charismatic.
I thought that's why I did roll. I think I had plus 4 and something else. Maybe I just.
If it's for the charisma, then
It works.
sorry.
That
would be 23.
What is your charisma modifier?
Warm up hands on a little fire.
Sorry?
What is your
Can
charisma
you see
modifier?
everybody do it? Because then it just
7.
makes you feel like a circle of hobos.
Your.
Charisma?
Yeah, what is your charisma?
Unless you live in the
Plus
city.
4.
Plus 4, yeah, so yeah, it should be plus 7. Because it's
Okay, I was
4
looking at
plus
this
3.
one, sorry.
Okay.
Or like,
So yeah, you should be plus 7 to hit with your spells.
Okay. So plus 4, that's what I did. So
Plus 7 to hit with your spells.
Or eggs, you know, whatever.
4 plus your proficiency
I'm
modifier.
not sure how people torture
Which is 3.
hobos. I don't really torture hobos.
Oh, so it's plus 7?
Plus 7. you
I
can-
haven't been adding numbers?
Maybe it sounds like that.
We already have
Oh,
games.
jeez.
And we already have an
That
influx
makes me feel
of
real
money,
bad.
so...
Okay, anyway.
So, what is O'Shea doing? As we're talking about,
23?
23 hits.
Yes.
Huzzah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, bitch. Yes.
2d6.
Yes.
Fucking love it. 8.
That's my favorite game I have to admit.
What?
It's 8, isn't it? Oh, never mind. I need glass.
Roll me some dice! I'm waiting over here!
I did roll!
What'd you
5!
do? That's not bad. This is the ball?
Acid splash.
Oh, this is your acid splash. Oh, okay.
Splash. That was my first
Fair
one.
enough.
Thank you.
And
then-
And so?
Is it dead? Is it dead?
No.
Damn it. Okay, so it's not
I
dead.
had to double check. Actually, no. It is. It is at the 8. It is down.
Okay, cool.
It's undead. Now it's redead.
The acid washes across the corpus of the beast, of the skeletal form. As it stumbles backwards, you hear the sizzling sound of its bones being torn from the chainmail as it all falls to pieces. A moment later, it is a sludge-borne pile on the ground, as the metals, rusted as they were, fall apart and liquefy against the bubbling acid splash. The room, already hot, muggy, you're all sweaty, and now it is filled with an acrid stench. Your minds swoon at the lack of air, and further still, become a little more disheveled from the strange, noxious, acidic fumes. Leandra on the ground twitches slightly from the pained wounds upon her racked body. You can roll me a death save.
Great.
What's your name now? No, really.
Nar.
No,
Do I
right.
add anything to that?
No, but you make it.
What's
So
the-
bad.
And what are you, barbarian?
It's 10 or whatever.
Just like the.
With that said, as you lay there, the camera pans against your face, shows the faces of your compatriots, A montage plays as who the fuck is gonna help her?
I'll try to stabilize her.
Terrific. Roll me medicine. The camera pans against you.
I could use a healing word on her.
Done. You have a medical kit?
No.
Oh, you
I'm trying to
don't.
pop clothing, trying to bandage out like
Do you
that.
have a
Otherwise,
bonus?
it's,
Do you have a bonus?
I have +3, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's over 10. I'm happy with that. So with that said, you bandage her, mend her, and then a moment later stabilize her. Sorry?
I could healing word her.
Oh, that works too.
Let's do it, but
So while he's putting all the effort in, you just walk over and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab Nar and say, I need
7 in
you.
total.
And try to take him into the
Okay.
pillar.
I'm a little hurt, but alright. Let's do this, I guess. Do I hear any sounds of anything coming?
no. For the moment, respite envelops your eardrums as the silence, the sweet silence,
Yes. Perhaps before we fuck with this thing, we take rest.
is only broken by the sound of your heavy breathing and heartbeat, and the adrenaline settling down in your veins.
And then my temporary hit points go away, right?
And short the rest. You shouldn't have my temporary HP. Or would you?
Yeah, I dropped the one skeleton down to 0 hit points. So I got 7.
Phoenix dealing.
Yeah.
This is correct, I guess.
Yeah. I guess
let's
that's
get this fucking thing done with it. And get the fuck out of here. I don't even know I was down here. We're supposed to go to swamp.
Yeah, we are in the swamp.
This is not swamp. This is not
So-
what I signed up for.
What the fuck just happened?
The camera pans against you guys and shuffles into darkness, fading up a moment later on Goodpath and Lux standing in the chamber over the skeletal form as Goodpath steps on the skull, crushing it.
Skull crusher.
I'll take a moment and be clear. And
I look about the room and the
Staffing yet?
Not
unusual
yet.
crystals and the contents.
That's what they're
inside.
doing.
There's a split screen of the two parties going about their works as you convince folks to help you move a dish. You take the spike out with the tray, and as this occurs, you notice a strange crystalline dust powder that drips off of the end, and you can easily see a crushed glass crystalline something, just a powder, caked against the bottom, and in some places suffused, sort of like a coating of caramel glass just hugging the bottom of the spike. And as you look upon this, it grows brittle as the air hits it, and it kind of just shatters a little bit before it falls away and strikes against the ground underneath the spike on the dish.
What the fuck was this?
So just to illustrate, if the spike is yay, like let's imagine it's this.
That's it.
Okay, this is actually quite perfect. It's just a little bit that's caked on here, and it just drips off and falls away.
That's from the one we took out that we had the
That's right.
Virginia, the
Yeah.
demon dagger? Huh.
oh yeah, it's just on the ground, isn't it? I used magic hand.
The things are heavy. You may hand it to the
Just talking about
dagger.
dagger.
Yeah, okay.
Just
Oh
talking-
yeah.
It doesn't want to
I
touch
got
the
him to
steel.
lift out.
Now, I just want to mention, the dagger is no longer oddly glowing. It's settled down. The magic's, whatever was floating around it, unable to permeate it, has long since settled. This was right.
Alright.
Okay. I'm gonna. As much as I want to do all the, I kind of agree with you. We should probably.
Let's just do your fucking stick and get this
Okay.
done.
All right.
We're
Let's do the
almost
stick. Let's do the stuff. So yeah, we'll line it up. I guess we'll switch out the thing, put the staff in the
The camera pans against the lot of you as you watch the two of them set to work. The tray gets ground out, set to the side with a clank. As it falls to the one side, grinding against the pavings, it shows the two of you lift the other one. As it moves into position and grinds with the spike slowly inserting into the plinth, the pinnacle, the post of the altar. As you insert the spike down in it, sets into position, you adjust it slightly, and you notice that it's sitting lower than it did before. Or is it? No, it was this low down when you first put it in, wasn't it? As you set it, and it meets up, marrying perfectly to the end, you set the dagger in the hole? Or, I mean, the staff in the hole?
In the hole, yeah. And line up so that it's underneath, like, how the burner was going off with the last one that we had.
Right.
But under one that looks like something from the mayor.
The one with the nice feathery wings.
Yeah, that one.
You shunt the dial with a strength check. And you can help him out, by all means.
Ooh!
Oh,
Apparently not so helpful.
You look at him doing it for a moment after trying to help him, and you're like, oh, there must be a trick to it. Anyway, as you get it into position, it begins to do the thing on the water, bubbling and boiling away as the...
And I will use produce flame to just and light the pilot light, I guess, underneath it.
Pilot light.
As it ignites up,
You do.
it continues to bubble and bubble away as the camera pans against you, as you stare into it. And you look towards the tray and you realize something's missing. And you look at the tiles and realize you haven't done the tiles yet. But moreover, there's no reaction at all. Maybe for the better. Because as you look upon the tiles, you realize you haven't done the tiles yet. And come to think of it, what are you trying to spell? In your excitement, you haven't planned any of this out.
What does it say on the band right now?
On the side of the thing, in Elvish, in Dwarvish, and in a mix of Celestial and Infernal runes, it has a few phrases. To the effect, it says, how can I word this actually? Let's say, it basically translates to one-way ticket.
Alright, can I start switching tiles, or are they locked in?
They're not locked in, and you can absolutely set to work.
Alright, yeah.
And as the camera shuffles against you doing your thing, it shows Leandra lolling awake. Is there anything you wanted to do?
No, I'm kind of just like.
Oh, me too, looking around.
I can't
Sorry.
breathe right now.
Well, it's very acrid in here. It's fading. Oxygen does move in here, so it's gradually. I mean, I wouldn't want to live in this place. It's very stagnant.
Right.
And there's a lot of, like, undead. So, it's real big out there, too.
Well, this is going on, and she's doing nothing. Can I take a look and see what these corpses have, if there's anything on them?
Absolutely. As you look upon each of them, you can note that their swords, the ones that are welding, are nothing special, but they are well and razored. If they're doing nothing else, these undead soldiers are obsessively sharpening their swords.
Okay.
And so you imagine that wielding one of these, you probably see an extra +1 damage. But they're no easier to wield. In fact, probably a little more difficult. The one that you pick off, suddenly you're disconcerted as the blade rattles against the handle. You're like, and as it drops to the ground, you notice you might have actually cut yourself just by looking at it.
Is there anything else on them?
There's not too much. There's like a little emblem of the circular dragon and the fist upon the side of the blade. Fiscal dragon.
And they're naked.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
No, they're not naked. These guys were, some of them were naked, some of them were armored. The armor that they had, I mean, it's in various states of repair. It's always chainmail. These guys have decent tunics to them. Some of them came with breeches that were falling apart. Other than that, throw me perception.
Perception.
Really?
Trumpet butt.
It reminds me of the Austin Powers scene, I think it is, where he's moving his chair, or the Men in Black one too, where he's moving his chair.
It's
always a chair.
2.
You can just mix it in. It's just carbon.
I got it. I'm supposed to roll this one, right?
Are you rolling?
Yeah, I'm supposed to roll D20, right?
What kind of check you rolling?
Perception.
Yeah.
I got a 2.
2 plus perception bonus.
Okay.
Go to skills.
Is it under the senses?
It's under
Very
skills.
harrowing in here.
Oh, the other
You
one?
watch out. Did I get you to sign the
So
waiver
4.
yet? Oh.
I got a 4.
With a 4?
High five.
Everything. So with a 4, sorry, to do what now? Perceive upon this thing? Terrific. You look upon it and you're just like, I don't want to dig through bodies. I don't want to dig through bodies. And you grab a hold of the bone and it's still warm from the heat. You're like, oh, this is fucking gross. You don't find anything, needless to say. You don't really look too hard.
Oh, then I'll just wander back over to. Actually, I'll just stay right where she put me. That's great.
I'm gonna sniff that white powdery shit. I'm like, not snort it, just sniff it.
Roll! Make him roll for that and he accidentally
I'm
inhales it.
doing it from a distance. I'm trying to get sense of smell.
Wow, this is getting further and further away. One minute you're Tony Montana, the next minute, sorry.
I'm just trying to sniff it from a distance.
Sure.
I do a passive 25% when it comes to smells.
Sorry, what white powder?
The white powder at the bottom of that thing that cracked off.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry. So the glass crystalline
It is actually glass,
powder,
okay.
as you're grabbing a hold of it, ends
feels
up
like glass?
cutting a little bit into your fingers. In fact, so quickly that as you're putting it down, bits of your own blood are pouring from your fingertips. You're like, oh my god, what the?
Oh, that hurts.
It starts to sting a little bit, and it starts to wane. It's not burning or anything. It's not infecting. You don't see any. Your skin's not turning purple. You seem okay.
Ow. What's that?
You take a point of damage.
Fuck. I pass out. I'm not that bad.
That would be awesome.
That would be fabulous. As the camera pans against the lot of you, and you look upon the dust, and you look upon the dish, and you hear in the distance the bubbling continue. Or you hear behind you the bubbling continue. The camera fades to black, and the credits begin to roll.
Oh.
God damn it.
Ending stream. With that said, this is a massive dungeon. And still not my biggest. I like the double-decker ones that end up with however many tiers. Shannon, would you like what you hate? What's your part? What's your least?
I love fire and fighting and not
Apparently.
dying.
Good.
Yeah.
Shannon, would you like what you hate? What's your part? What's your least?
I like that I can help everybody.
Yeah, you're super useful.
Not a great healer, but I help a little.
Yeah.
No, you healed quite a bit.
Healing word is amazing.
The more healing, the better. Mark, would you like what you hate? What's your part? What's your least?
It was fun watching the fire.
Yes, burning.
And I did enjoy not dying.
MVP.
Twice.
This was a hard battle, eh?
Yeah.
That was hard.
I'm regretting not using like it's. I'm still with the whole no. There's gonna be a bigger guy before we get our next long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not using my hellish rebuke, my misty step, because I've only got
Yeah.
spells.
Conservative.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Curtis, would you like what you hate? What's your part? What's your least?
It was interesting kind of having my own little side adventure thing going on, but I did feel a little bit, because there was so much to it, like I didn't,
I left it open.
I kind of felt a little bit rushed as far as pacing, as far as not
Well, you didn't
burning
show
too
it.
much time. There's a lot of room and a lot of, hey, maybe
Oh, yeah,
there's
no,
something
for
over
sure.
here, maybe there's something over there, I don't know.
Did you have fun with it?
But it was
Like
good. It was interesting. Little bit questioning. I wonder where the group is. I wonder how long it's going to be in parallel mode. But it was good. It was an interesting fight, and theirs was, well, more interesting.
More interesting, really?
Yeah.
No.
Sounds about
Really alive.
I think that you and the crystal over there is pretty damn.
The room is interesting. It's certainly.
I will say this: I distracted you here. This is another area that you didn't really get explored at all. I didn't really expand on it. But it was supposed to have. Yeah, it's an empty room from where you can tell. That's what I mean. And then there's the barracks area there,
Okay.
and that was it.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a lot of setting. It'll be good to.
And this one, you went down the side door, and then you went through here. Right, the side door had the caved-in doorway, and then there's the stairs with the catwalk there.
Yeah.
And then you got this door that leads to here.
Yes.
Otherwise, you got this door that you haven't gone through.
Yeah.
And then you've got levers, gems, and lines with a chest with writings that have levers and gems.
Yes.
Levers and dots and
To be clear, I did take those writings.
They're writings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's
That part was
pages-
unclear.
Pages with portal defense and dispersion.
Okay.
What else?
I'll take the pages that I think
There was
from a
the books
cursory
and
glance are
arts.
meaningful, I guess.
And you remember this obelisk out here? It didn't have any receptacles, but it had the words upon it that would write out.
Before
various
everyone puts away
phrases.
completely, XP. I guess.
Everybody takes 600 XP once again. Sorry, and James, what you like, what you hate, what you hurt, what you least?
Alright, let's see. Well, again, I like playing with everyone. It's a good group. I like the layout. It was really cool to see all of it. It's a nice setup. It's cool to see a lot of stuff utilized today. A lot of
Fridays
space.
suck.
The fight was a little rough. The fact that I felt kind of useless to almost, it was up, down, up, down. So that's part of this release.
Got a head like a ping pong ball.
But that's how we started. There was no, I don't know. But that's about it. The fight wasn't bad. It just, I
was
felt
hard.
useless.
Yeah.
I like the pacing. I didn't like having you guys pinned in the hole. I would have liked it to have been a little more tactical, but at the same time, I like the idea of a harrowing onslaught where are they going to stop? Are they going to stop? Are we going to die? Are we going to die? So, I like the idea of kind of you had to defend the base as they came at you, and you guys did that. And now you guys are free to do what you're going to do, right? Otherwise, I liked doing the independent adventure. I did want to have an introduction where basically Lux was put in his element, and I think I struck that excellently.
Yeah.
So despite investing an hour of it into that,
Yeah,
I think
it's a
actually
tricky
about a
thing.
half hour really,
It's
because
a tricky thing.
the truth is it was about a half hour, 40 minutes from when we actually started, so that's not too bad. Otherwise, yeah, like I said, good pacing, fun session. I liked the combat because everybody felt the pressure and everybody won, and everybody still won the day. You know, so that's important. But when we come back next session, it'll be the conclusion of your doings here. Hopefully, the one thing I will say is that I had whatever ideas for puzzles, and we're seeing the setup of it with that stuff there. And then a whole bunch of other stuff kicking around. I wanted to make it, and you got these pieces as well. Oops, oh, goodbye. You got these pieces as well. And with that said, yeah, I can't wait for next session. Actually, this feels like a really cool dungeon that I've got like the rooms all figured out. So yeah.
Glowing mushrooms.
Is that a horrible ghost monster?
Yeah, it totally reminds me of the ghost from
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Slimer?
Yes.
Terrifying. It's like E.T.'s face on it.
Her face is black.
And on that bombshell,
You tried
like
to
what you see,
stab
we
me
stream
with four
every
swords.
Monday and Friday from 7 o'clock until whenever we finish. It is my pleasure to be your Dungeon Master and Entertainer with my wonderful palette, my plethora of player personalities. Until next time, may your 20s always land on 20. Have a wonderful night.